In the year 535 AD, a great volcano in the tropics unleashed its fury, casting forth an immense cloud of ash that transformed the warmth of summer into the chill of winter. For years, the land lay barren, ensnared in the relentless grip of drought and famine. As the crops withered and hope faded, a multitude perished. For the next 18 months, the sun cast its glow, yet it lacked the brilliance one would expect. Let me take you on a journey through the chilling reality of life amidst humanity's most devastating volcanic winter. If these tales resonate with you, consider subscribing. I'm intrigued to know, what hour graces your corner of the world? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Just the other day, a voice from Canada shared that they tune in during their lunch breaks. Neither here nor there, but that certainly caught me off guard. Tonight we delve into the tale of the year, without a summer. But before we embark on our journey, let's settle in and truly embrace the comfort of our surroundings. Are the pillows satisfactory? Is the blanket situation taken care of? Believe me when I say this. In a humble timber dwelling nestled in eastern Britannia, 536 AD, you find yourself resting upon a straw pallet. Decades have slipped by since the Romans departed from these shores, and now your village stands as a tapestry woven from the threads of native Britons and Saxon settlers. In a tale woven through time, your father, a farmer of Romano-British heritage, united his life with your Saxon mother, 15 years past, merging two distinct worlds under one roof. This morning, it seems the old divisions hold little significance for anyone. There are matters of greater urgency at hand. As you rise, the straw pallet whispers softly under your weight. Your younger siblings lie nestled together like dormice, wrapped in the warmth of the single woolen blanket your mother crafted last winter. The morning carries an unsettling air. The soft glow seeping through the tiny window is faint, subdued. The arrival of spring, late March, has graced us once more. The dawn should be breaking sooner, not retreating into shadows. Your mother says that father is already outside, tending to the small fire in the hearth. The smoke dances gracefully, twisting and turning as it escapes through the gap in the thatched roof. A peculiar sight looms above, capturing the imagination. You don a linen undershirt followed by your wool tunic, the coarse fabric brushing against your skin, not akin to your gentle contemporary linens. Next in line are the cozy woolen socks and the sturdy leather shoes. In a realm where the ground is a treacherous tapestry of muck, remnants of creatures and jagged fragments, few dare to tread without the protection of shoes, even within the confines of four walls. Outside, the air hangs heavy, almost strange. Your father stands at the heart of your modest farm, gazing skyward. A crowd of neighbors has assembled, their gazes fixed upon the sky, faces reflecting a spectrum of emotions from bewilderment to sheer terror. "It's not burning right," old Wulfric declares, his hand sweeping toward the flickering torch. Though the sun claims its morning, he continues to bear it with him. Behold the feeble flicker of the flame. Your eyes lift to the horizon. The sun hangs in the sky, its light filtering through an unusual haze, casting an ethereal glow. Yet it feels off, reduced, akin to a tarnished copper coin instead of the radiant gold it ought to embody. Once my grandmother shared tales of a time when the sun itself seemed to lose its brightness, recounts Ifra, the eldest matriarch of our village. Her face tells a tale of time, etched with wrinkles, while her fingers, twisted and worn, bear the marks of countless years of labor. Long before my mother graced this world, a chilling frost descended upon us. Then came the gnawing emptiness. "Such folly," my father declares. Yet his voice seems to waver in certainty. It's merely a fleeting tempest. Yet, it is not a tempest. The sky is clear, devoid of clouds, offering no hint of impending rain. There lingers a curious, unyielding mist, and as the day unfolds, it remains shrouded in shadows. As the clock strikes noon, one would expect the sun to reign supreme in the sky, yet the world lingers in a haunting twilight, casting an unusual spell over the landscape. Your shadow on the ground dances lightly, almost a whisper of presence. As the day hangs in a delicate balance, your mother softly murmurs, tracing the sign of the cross. Even after embracing Christianity through her marriage to your father, there are moments when she quietly whispers the ancient Saxon charms, believing herself to be alone in her reverie. Today she weaves together two tales. Hold on, what's happening? Absolutely not. That doesn't seem correct. In the early days of Anglo-Saxon England, the cross was not yet a familiar sight. She weaves a timeless protective gesture, an ancient one, as she traces two's symbol to guard against the shadows that lurk. As the peculiar twilight wanes, the village headman gathers the community for an important meeting, the shadows deepening around them. In the heart of the small settlement, all come together within the Grand Mead Hall, the largest structure that stands as a beacon of community. Today, the chickens have produced only half the usual number of eggs, as noted by the reeve, the diligent keeper of the village's resources. Have you caught a glimpse of the spring plantings? The shoots are already taking on a golden hue. It's the ash that lingers in the air, remarks Dunstan, a son of a legionary from the days before the Romans departed. My father witnessed a sight akin to this near the majestic mountain in Sicilia, where fire and rock emerge from the very depths of the earth. There's no mountain in sight, another voice interjects. It need not be. The winds whisper secrets, carrying ash and smoke through the air. Dunstan's voice fades, a palpable tension hanging in the air as all eyes fixate on him. It's a sign, proclaims Father Cuthbert, the village priest, his voice slicing through the whispers that fill the air. In the face of celestial scrutiny, we find ourselves wandering far from the sacred road laid before us. All the deities are locked in battle, whispers the ancient Hilda, who clings steadfastly to the traditions of yore. With a mighty swing, Thor brings his hammer crashing against the heavens, sending forth a dazzling shower of sparks that momentarily outshine the sun. Observe the delicate dance of souls, as the faithful gravitate toward Father Cuthbert's steady presence, while those clinging to ancient traditions are drawn to Hilda and her enchanting murmurs. Cease, the headman lifts his hands. Whether they are signs, deities, or something else entirely, practicality must guide our actions. If the planting falters, our supplies will dwindle. And there it is, the shadow that weaves through every tale. In your village, much like countless others throughout Britannia and far beyond, the balance of sustenance hangs precariously, teetering on the edge of uncertainty. Abundant harvests bring life, while meager yields spell out hunger or even greater peril. Your father begins to share his thoughts. Let us embark on a journey to examine the treasures of our stored grain, to count and catalog what we have gathered. It's wise to begin rationing sooner rather than later, for the journey ahead may require us to be prepared. The grain won't sprout right under this sky, Elfric declares, the finest farmer among you. His expression is somber. I ventured to various places today, and it feels as if they sense something amiss, the headman acknowledges with a nod. Tomorrow, we shall gather our thoughts and assess what we have in hand. In every home, take stock of your treasures. It's time to weave our plans together. Back home, your loved ones draw near to the warm glow of the hearth fire. The flames flicker and dance, battling against an unseen force as though the very air around them is constricting their fiery essence. What if the sun just stays like this? Your younger brother inquires, his eyes sparkling with a blend of fear and wonder that only a child can possess. It won't, your father declares with conviction. Yet you notice the fleeting, anxious look he shares with your mother. On that night, slumber eludes me. In the midst of a perplexing twilight, the roosters call out at unusual times, their cries echoing through the stillness. The village dogs, restless and uneasy, whimper and bark at shadows, while far off the wolves raise their voices in a haunting chorus, more daring than they have been in ages, as if they can feel the winds of change stirring in the air. The dawn offers no solace. The sun ascends, a soft and gentle figure emerging in the eastern sky. The chill in the air seems to linger longer than expected for this time of year. In the crisp air, your father's breath rises in wisps as he guides you through the careful inspection of the grains and beans nestled in the storage pit beneath your home's floor. He speaks softly, ensuring that your siblings remain unaware. We have enough for 2 months, perhaps 3 if we tread carefully. From that point on, he leaves it hanging, no need to complete the thought. As the days unfold, a fresh rhythm takes shape. The peculiar twilight lingers on. The spring sowing faces its trials. Tender sprouts break through the earth, only to turn yellow and fade away. The wild greens, which typically herald the first taste of spring after winter's grasp, find themselves stifled and bitter. Your father and the other men embark on longer hunting excursions, journeying further into the depths of the forest than they typically would. They come back with fewer creatures than anticipated, as the animals appear to be in hiding, bewildered by the changed patterns of day and night. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting shadows that danced in the eerie twilight, a messenger appeared, journeying from the distant settlement to the east, bearing news amidst the unsettling gloom that had lingered for a week. He appears weary, his horse lathered with foam from the relentless journey. It spreads far and wide. He shares with the attentive villagers, reaching every corner of Britannia and even into Gaul, as the traders recount. The sun has faded from Rome to Constantinople as Father Cuthbert raises his voice. And what do they proclaim this darkness to be? The messenger gives a nonchalant shrug, as if the weight of the world rests lightly on their shoulders. Some attribute it to divine fury, while others point fingers at dark sorcery. A bishop from the south insists it is the exhalation of a dragon dwelling deep within the earth. He takes a moment, for the sages proclaim that the origin is of little consequence. What truly counts is enduring through it all. On that enchanting night, your mother lingers by the flickering firelight, long after the world has succumbed to slumber. With a gaze that flits between curiosity and contemplation, you observe her meticulously cataloging every detail within your cozy abode. She meticulously counts the dried beans, the stored grain, the salted meat, her fingers gently tracing the contours of the small clay pot that cradles the precious salt, a treasure worth its weight in silver, vital for the art of preserving food. Insufficient, you catch her murmuring, far from adequate. The following day unfolds the inaugural gathering of strategy, as your father puts it, even though there is no foe to confront, merely the muted sun and the implications it holds for the harvest. The headman takes his place at the heart of the assembly. We must embrace a new perspective, he declares. The familiar plantings are struggling, calling for us to explore new crops and alternative methods. Old Afri, my grandmother, begins her tale, and a few groans ripple through the room, for everyone is well acquainted with the familiar opening of her stories. My grandmother possessed the wisdom of the land, knowing the wild plants that could sustain us when the crops faltered, the roots to dig, the barks to seek. This time she speaks without interruption. No one trifles with the tales spun by wise women of age. All ears are tuned in. She shares that acorns can be transformed into flour, but first one must leach out the bitterness. Also, certain pine, bark. The nettles are beginning to emerge now. Ah, the soup they craft is truly delightful. One can roast the roots of the dandelion. The young ferns are on the cusp of being ready for harvest. She calls forth the names of plants, each one a tale, waiting to be told, while a diligent scribe records their essence with cherished charcoal on a piece of polished birch bark. Even the Romans experienced the pangs of hunger, Dunstan notes. My grandfather shared tales of a porridge crafted from whatever was at hand, a humble dish they named hunger soup. More favorable than hunger, visions take shape. Gatherings of hunters are arranged, not solely for the thrill of the chase, but also to inspect traps set for rabbits and various small creatures. Others will come together to collect the wild plants that Afri spoke of. In every home, there exists a tapestry of responsibilities woven together. As the sun sets, your mother gathers you and your siblings around, sharing tales of the plants you will seek out together on the morrow. Behold, she proclaims, tracing delicate patterns in the earth with a slender twig. Ah, dandelions, those cheerful little blooms, but keep your eyes peeled for these as well. She sketches the outlines of leaves, and these are the ones that carry a darker tale. Though they may appear alike, they hold the potential to bring illness or something far more dire. What brings you to possess such knowledge? Your little sister inquires. Your mother's smile carries a shadow of sorrow. Once upon a time, in a year, that felt darker than the rest. I found myself navigating through challenges that seemed insurmountable, much like the trials you may face in your own journey. Not in this manner, yet still quite unfortunate. It was my mother who imparted her wisdom to me. Now I shall share my knowledge with you. Beyond the threshold, the peculiar twilight gives way to the embrace of genuine night. Through the narrow window, the flickering light of torches reveals neighbors bustling about, their expressions etched with concern. Your father comes back from the headman's lengthy meeting, his face shadowed with a heavy seriousness. He leans in close to your mother, his voice barely above a whisper, sharing the news that messengers are being dispatched to the ancient villa up north, the one that belongs to the wealthy merchant. Whispers abound that he possesses stores of grain. Will he weave his tale for all to hear? Your mother inquires. Your father's laughter carries no trace of mirth. Not at the moment, but he could be persuaded to part with it for the right amount. Your mother declares that we possess no wares to offer. Indeed, some do. The headman possesses that silver arm ring. There are a handful of others who possess treasures of worth. And what of those who do not? There is a pause before your father responds. The headman proclaims that we are but one village, united in purpose. We shall unveil all that we can gather. You feign slumber, yet your ears remain attuned to their murmurs in the darkness, weaving plans and pondering the endurance of their provisions. The grown-ups believe they shield you by concealing their anxieties, yet you grasp far more than they comprehend. As the true darkness envelops the world, you gently surrender to the embrace of sleep, pondering the mysteries that tomorrow's feeble sun may unveil. In the stillness of the night, a wolf's haunting howl pierces the air, echoing nearer to the village than ever before. The dogs respond with anxious barks, their voices trembling in the air. Even the creatures of the wild sense that something is profoundly amiss. As you drift toward slumber, your mind lingers on the warmth of the sun. Will it ever radiate with brilliance once more? Or is this dim glow the way things are now? And if it is, how long can anyone endure in a realm where the earth yields no harvest? As shadows deepen, uncertainty reigns, and the questions linger unanswered. Just a cascade of questions, and the relentless shadow of impending hunger. As the first light breaks, it barely earns the title it bears. 2 moons have waxed and waned since the shadows descended. The season has turned to early summer, yet the signs are elusive. The feeble sun fights to embrace the earth while your breath dances in the crisp morning air, creating delicate wisps of cloud. As you tumble from your humble straw pallet, the weariness of yesterday's foraging adventure lingers in your muscles. In the corner, a modest collection of wild greens and roots rests, patiently awaiting your careful sorting. Your stomach rumbles, a reminder of the morning's meager offering, a thin gruel crafted from the remnants of stored grain, delicately stretched with ground acorns, painstakingly processed by your mother to rid them of their bitterness. Rise and shine, your mother gently urges, giving your siblings a little nudge. It is essential that we inspect the snares before the wolves have their chance. Before the sun graced the horizon, your father set out with 3 companions from the village. In the heart of the deep forest, a group sets out on a quest to hunt deer. Yet the game has grown elusive and peculiar in its ways. In the midst of an endless twilight, creatures roam with a sense of bewilderment, meandering at unusual times. Their once familiar paths now tangled and elusive, making them a challenge to follow. Outside, the village presents a new face, transformed. From the vibrant scenes of spring, gardens that once promised a bounty of vibrant vegetables now serve as intriguing experimental plots. Heeding the wisdom of old Ifrey, the townsfolk have taken to cultivating whatever they can in the meager light, focusing on root vegetables, turnips, and early carrots, plants that channel their strength into the earth rather than reaching for the sun. Off to the north woods we go, your mother announces, as she hands you a small sack crafted from a piece of worn linen. Guide your sister to the stream beds, where you can seek out watercress and tender young cattails together. Do you recall the moment I shared that with you? You acknowledge with a nod. Each day the quest for sustenance unfolds as a shared endeavor for all. Even the tiniest of adventurers, just 5 years old, have begun to recognize the bounty of nature's edible treasures. At the village's edge, you come upon the headman's dwelling, where a circle of men and women engage in earnest discussion. Whispers of 3 more villages reaching out, you catch in the air. Everywhere you go, the tale remains the same. All seems stagnant in the garden of life. In the shadow of the grand monastery to the south, the storehouses have swung open their doors, yet even their bounty falls short of satisfying the endless stream of souls who arrive, seeking sustenance. From the villa, the merchant has delivered his response. Another voice interjects. He'll barter with grain, yet the cost. The voice fades into a whisper, leaving the conclusion shrouded in mystery. You urge your sister to keep pace. Grown-ups often frown upon the little ones hearing such dark discussions, yet it's a truth, universally acknowledged, that the circumstances grow bleaker with every day that the sun hides its face. By the stream, you encounter other families, all engaged in the delightful task of gathering the precious watercress. In the gentle embrace of the fading light, the plants rise resiliently, their delicate white flowers scattered like stars upon the lush green leaves that dance upon the water's surface. Save some for tomorrow, Edith calls out, her voice carrying from the far end of the village. Her voice carries a sharpness now, a quality that emerged only after the shadows arrived. We are merely claiming what is rightfully ours, you respond, maintaining a tone of respect. As the days pass, the air thickens with unease, for the once abundant supplies are now slipping away like sand through fingers. Your sister gently pulls at your sleeve. Look, she murmurs, gesturing toward the flowing waters below. A deer, slender yet still a notable provider of sustenance, sips cautiously from the flowing stream. It lies in an unexpected proximity to the village, and under the light that barely qualifies as daylight these days, the eternal twilight has thrown the usual rhythms of nature into disarray. With deliberate care, you extend your hand toward the small hunting knife resting at your belt. The deer stands so near, yet you feel the weight of your own limitations, knowing you're not quite ready to face it alone. The deer's head snaps, up, alert and poised. It gazes at you with deep, shimmering eyes, then leaps into the embrace of the forest. It understood, your sister declares with the unwavering confidence of youth. It gazed directly into our souls. Creatures of the wild feel hunger as well, you say to her, as you return your focus to the watercress. Come, lend me your hand in collecting these treasures. With careful precision, you navigate from the delicate watercress to the sturdy cattails that flourish along the murky bank. Ah, the tender young shoots, a delightful treat to savor in their raw form. And those rhizomes, as your mother fondly referred to them, hold the promise of transformation. Once cleaned and dried, they can be pounded into a fine flour, ready to weave into the fabric of a meal. As you gather, a seasoned boy from the village draws near, his own collection bag already brimming with treasures. He shares with you the discovery of a patch of ramsons up the hill, a delightful reference to wild garlic. Not many, but just enough to enhance the flavor of tonight's stew. He glances around cautiously before speaking in a hushed tone. My father and the others are crafting larger traps aimed at capturing deer instead of just rabbits. Do you grasp the unspoken words behind his silence? The headman has proclaimed that the village must welcome the return of grander game for the joy of communal sharing. Though setting private snares for deer would defy his commands, the desperation among the people is palpable. We saw nothing, you say, and he nods in appreciation. As the sun reaches its zenith, though the exact moment seems to blur into the day, your bag reveals a modest bounty: watercress, tender cattail shoots, a scattering of diminutive wild strawberries discovered in an unexpectedly bright spot, and a few dandelion roots that promise a bitter yet satisfying meal once roasted. As you journey back to the village, you find yourself passing by the weathered hut of old Ifri. The wise elder reclines in the open air, encircled by eager young women, and a handful of captivated men, each one hanging on her every word. Acorn bread will sustain you, but it sure does bind you up, she's saying. Incorporate a touch of meadowsweet if it graces your path, or savor the essence of pine needle tea. But remember, it's the young needles that hold the magic, not the aged ones. With a glimmer in her eye, she spots you and beckons you to come closer. Reveal to me the treasures you have collected, dear one. You unveil the fruits of your labor from this morning, laying them out for all to see. With a knowing nod, she sorts through the plants, her gnarled fingers dancing among the leaves. She pauses at a certain root. Not this one, it resembles cattail root, but notice this reddish hue? Let it go, it's not worth the trouble it brings. As one of the women inquires, you cast aside the suspect root. What tales do mushrooms hold? In the cow pasture, a few are beginning to emerge. Ifri's expression hardens. Let them be unless you are absolutely sure. The cunning can often masquerade as the virtuous. In the hunger year of my youth, tragedy struck my family when my cousin's boy succumbed to the perils of mushroom sickness. A most unfortunate fate indeed. Her listeners respond with a thoughtful nod. In these shadowy times, her wisdom, once regarded as mere ramblings of the elderly, has transformed into a treasure beyond measure. What of the forest mushrooms? Another inquires. Those grand orange ones perched upon the oak trees. We referred to them as the chicken of the woods. Afri gives a thoughtful nod. Enjoy your meals and stay safe, but be wary of the impostors. Should it shine at twilight, then in this wretched half-light, let it rest undisturbed. You linger a moment, longer, absorbing the sounds before making your way back home. Afri's lessons have woven themselves into the fabric of village life, as dependable as Father Cuthbert's prayers. Many villagers gather for both, balancing the wisdom of the past with the promises of their faith. Upon returning to your abode, your mother examines your collections with a nod of approval. Well done. The watercress shall find its place in the evening stew. We'll set aside the rest to dry for another time. Later has taken on a foreboding quality. In the days to come, when provisions may dwindle even further, in the moments that follow, when shadows may still hold sway over the realm, in the golden light of the afternoon, your father strides back, accompanied by two fellow hunters, their presence hinting at tales yet to be told. In their grasp lies a solitary fawn, its skin removed and insides emptied. It wasn't the treasure they had envisioned, yet it was certainly preferable to coming back with nothing at all. A small hunting party from the North Settlement shares a tale of hardship, whispering to your mother as he presents his meager portion of meat, far less than what would have been customary in better days. The shadows extend for what feels like an eternity, a journey of 5 days in every direction, perhaps enveloping the entire realm. Your mother makes the sign of the cross, a ritual she seems to embrace more often as of late. Was there anything more they shared? Is there any news about it being lifted? With a subtle shake of his head, he conveys a world of unspoken thoughts. Silence. A void where words dare not tread. Whispers of a grand gathering fill the air, as villagers prepare to send their chosen ones to the ancient Roman town. The bishop beckons for it. Will you embark on this journey? Your father appears to be filled with doubt. The headman remains uncertain about whom to choose for the task ahead. It is a perilous 3-day trek, fraught with danger as wolves draw near to the paths and desperate souls lurk within the shadows of the forests. As dusk falls, the whole village converges in the heart of the clearing, drawn together by an unspoken bond. The communal cooking fire flickers with a diminished glow, its firewood consumed with a sense of caution, as if every element of this gathering is being meticulously measured and preserved. In a wise decision, the headman has decreed the construction of a grand outdoor oven, a communal hearth where families can gather to prepare their meals, uniting their efforts and conserving valuable fuel in the process. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the evening meal took shape. A hearty stew crafted from the bounty of the day's hunting and gathering adventures. The venison lies in delicate morsels, rich in flavor, yet light in weight, immersed in a savory broth adorned with wild greens, scattered grains, and the humble treasures of foraged roots. Each individual is served an equal share, carefully scooped into rustic wooden bowls by the headman's wife, who oversees the process to guarantee that all is just and right. As you gather with your loved ones, you relish every bite, allowing the flavors to unfold with each deliberate chew. The air is thick with whispers, a soft hum that lingers in the background. Individuals hold tightly to the familiar dance of social interaction, even as the landscape of their lives shifts into the realm of the extraordinary. One woman shares with another that her cousin's boy has fallen ill. The tale of fever and coughing unfolds. The wise woman speaks of it as a result of the foul air. "It's the moisture," her companion responds. In the absence of the sun's warm embrace, all remains drenched, clinging to the moisture that envelops it, harmful to the lungs. Father Cuthbert proclaims it a trial of belief, as a third woman joins the tale. Those who hold steadfast to their faith shall find solace and be rescued from this trial. By the flickering flames, a circle of men engages in a conversation about the weighty concerns of the day. If we divide the fishing nets and create smaller ones, we can allow more people to experience the river at the same time, proposes Oswald, who inherited the art of net-making from his father. Another man counters, "The fish aren't biting as they ought to. It seems as though they are concealing themselves as well. We must venture into the deeper pools, for that is where they seek refuge when fear takes hold." Once the meal has come to a close, Father Cuthbert rises to share his heartfelt prayers. Some lower their heads without hesitation, while others avert their gaze, their beliefs challenged by the persistent shadows. In the beginning, the divine craftsman brought forth light, casting it apart from the shadows. The priest proclaims with reverence, "We must have faith that he will return the light when the moment is right." From the periphery of the assembly, the venerable Afri emits a gentle sound that could be interpreted as dissent. The time-honored paths she treads offer varied tales for the shadowed sun, each with its own sacred rites to summon the brilliance once more. As the priest's voice carries through the air, you observe the village's quiet fracture. Some gather near Father Cuthbert, seeking solace in the familiar embrace of Christian assurances, while others linger near Ephra and the few remaining elders who cling to ancient traditions. In between, a weary middle group stands, their faith, whether sacred or secular, frayed by the relentless grip of hunger and anxiety. Once the prayers have been uttered, the headman stands tall. "News has arrived from 3 additional villages," he proclaims. In the shrouded depths of Britannia and far beyond, a veil of darkness looms. Yet amidst this shadow, whispers of hope begin to emerge. The audience buzzes with anticipation, yearning for a glimmer of hope. Merchants arriving at the coastal settlement share tales of distant lands to the south, where the sun near Rome is steadily gaining strength and the shadows are slowly receding. Whispers danced among the crowd. If this is indeed the case, it marks the first genuine glimmer of hope since the heavens first darkened. How long? A voice echoes through the air. How long before it finds its way to us? The headman gestures widely with his hands. Though they couldn't articulate it, the notion lingered that if the shadows were lifting in the south, surely they would also fade from this place in due time. It may be a fragile solace, yet it is solace all the same. One can observe the subtle shift in posture, a gentle lifting of spirits reflected in their faces. For now the headman weaves his words, "We have matters to unravel. In the beginning there were the grain stores." With a subtle nod, he acknowledges the reeve, who holds his tally sticks with a watchful eye. The reeve shares that, with our current provisions, we can sustain ourselves for 3 more weeks. 4. Should we choose to scale back portions once more? Somber glances are shared. 3 weeks feels like just a fleeting moment. Next, the headman continues, as the bishops gather for their meeting. "It is time for us to determine who shall embark on this journey." A spirited discussion ensues. Some contend that no one is exempt from this fate. Some feel compelled to uncover the broader schemes that are unfolding. Ultimately, the choice is made that 2 shall embark on this journey. Dunstan, well-versed in the ancient Roman paths, and Father Cuthbert, able to converse with the bishop as equals in faith. With a finality in his voice, the headman declares that they shall depart on the morrow. Let us turn our attention to the fishing nets. As the gathering unfolds, you and your siblings begin to feel the weight of sleepiness settle upon you. In the end, your mother guides you back to the familiar embrace of home. The night has deepened into a true darkness, the peculiar twilight giving way to a shadowy embrace that feels almost familiar in its stillness. Within the cozy confines, your father has carefully tended to the modest hearth fire, skillfully using just the right amount of cherished wood to banish the damp chill that lingers in the air. Your mother carefully spreads out the pallets, and before long, your younger siblings drift off to sleep, their weariness eclipsing their hunger and concerns. In the stillness of the night, you find yourself wide awake, attuned to the soft murmur of your parents' conversation drifting through the walls. If what your mother says about the South holds true, then perhaps there is a glimmer of hope on the horizon. Perhaps. Your father seems to harbor some doubts. Yet, even if the dawn breaks anew tomorrow, the fields bear the scars of what has come before. The year ahead remains one of hunger. We have weathered the storms of hunger in times past, not in this manner, not in this way. For a brief moment, silence envelops the room, and then your mother breaks it with a question. Do you think we should go? Will you accompany those journeying towards the south? That's far too perilous, your father responds without hesitation. The paths are fraught with danger, and what treasures might await us? In every village, the same trials and tribulations unfold. Here we find solace in our home and the warmth of our neighbors. We understand the terrain, its gifts and offerings. Hush envelops the space, and you gently slip into slumber, your dreams painted with radiant sunlight and expansive fields of golden grain ready for harvest. The following dawn, if the muted glow of the ever-present twilight can truly be deemed morning, awakens a thrilling anticipation within the village. Father Cuthbert and Dunstan ready themselves for the journey to the bishop's gathering, carefully assembling small bundles of provisions for the road ahead. What captivates you and the other children is the arrival of a traveler, a rare occurrence in these perilous times. The man stands tall and lean, his strong frame complemented by a face etched with the tales of countless journeys. He arrives with tales of the world beyond and, even more treasured, the seeds of new beginnings. Gather round. He beckons to the villagers as he raises a small leather pouch, its contents a mystery waiting to unfold. In the twilight of the day, the ancient monastery garden by the sea whispers tales of yore. The brothers there speak of how these thrive even in the shadows. They require less sunlight than grain does. With great care, the seeds are counted and entrusted to the hands of the village's most talented gardeners. Your mother cradles 7 beans, wrapping them tenderly in a scrap of clean linen, as if they were the most precious gems in the world. Place them in the coziest nook, the wanderer suggests, nestled against a sun-kissed wall if such a treasure is at hand. They flourish rapidly, reaching for the skies. He lingers just long enough to exchange his wisdom for a warm meal, then sets off again, journeying northwest with additional seed pouches destined for other villagers. On that sunlit afternoon, your mother invites you to join her in the delightful task of planting the beans. In the coziest nook of your quaint garden, you discover a spot where the wall of your home offers a gentle embrace from the elements. In those usual days, the earth beneath was lacking in richness. Though the soil may not seem inviting, you take the time to enrich it with precious compost made from kitchen scraps, giving the beans a glimmer of hope in their struggle for life. With one hand deep in the earth, your mother guides you, demonstrating the perfect way to press your finger into the soil, finding just the right depth. If they're not deep enough, they'll wither away. Plant them too deep, and they may wither away before they even have a chance to bloom. Every bean finds its place in the earth accompanied by a soft prayer, a harmonious blend of Christian blessings and ancient incantations that your mother unknowingly weaves together. With gentle hands, you tuck them into the earth, nurturing them with the delicate gift of rainwater from the barrel. From this moment we bide our time, your mother declares, yet her voice lacks the weight of certainty. Countless crops have withered beneath the shadowy heavens. As Father Cuthbert and Dunstan embark on their journey to the bishop's meeting, the village embraces a fresh cadence of resilience and endurance. Every day unfolds like a carefully woven tapestry, each thread meticulously placed. What is the right amount of food to consume? What amount should one set aside? What distance shall one wander in search of sustenance without depleting their vigor? How does one keep the flame of hope alive when the sun hangs low in the sky, a muted copper disk offering scant warmth or illumination? Your family evolves. Your father discovers innovative techniques to craft snares, ensnaring the bewildered rabbits that wander out during unexpected times. Your mother weaves her magic with scant ingredients, transforming them into meals that soothe the relentless pangs of hunger. As you and your siblings embark on your journey, you cultivate a keen awareness for the hidden treasures of nature, edible plants that may have slipped past the gaze of others. One evening, not long after the beans found their new home in the wab soil, your sister's voice rang out with joy from the garden corner. Look, look, they're growing, and so it is. That delicate green shoots have emerged from the earth, stretching upward in search of the faint glimmers of light that seep through the overcast heavens. In these shadowy times, it's the little wonders that keep the spirit alive. That night, as you nestle into your straw pallet, the relentless ache of hunger in your belly is momentarily soothed by something else. A delicate sprout of hope, as resilient as the bean shoots breaking through the shadowy soil. As the leaves turn and the air grows crisp, the season of bounty arrives. It ought to usher in grand banquets and overflowing pantries, with winter preparations crafted in unwavering assurance. As the fading summer yields to a somber fall, your village confronts the harsh reality that sustenance is scarce for all. In the softened glow, the beans your mother nurtured have blossomed into a small wonder, defying the odds. They've ascended the side of your house, their pale stems stretching fervently toward the sky, yet the pods they bear are scant and diminutive. You assist her in gathering them with great care, reserving a portion for immediate enjoyment and another for the seeds of the coming year, should fortune allow for it. As dawn breaks, a thick mist envelops the earth, stubbornly holding on, impervious to the feeble rays of the sun that struggle to pierce through. The air is thick with the scent of smoke and decay, mingling with the strange metallic taste that has settled into the fabric of life since the shadows descended. At breakfast, your father reveals the day's adventure. We're heading to the monastery. A delicate concoction, a thin porridge crafted from the remnants of your cherished grain stores, harmoniously blended with the earthy essence of ground acorns. The headman has called upon each family to send forth a representative. Last night, Father Cuthbert returned, bearing tidings of great significance. What tale do you seek, you inquire, gently coaxing every last morsel from your wooden bowl. That's what we'll discover, he responds, his expression revealing nothing at all. You have been selected to accompany him on this journey. As one of the seasoned young ones, your presence adds value, yet you are not the linchpin in the day's quest for sustenance. Your mother and siblings will persist in their tireless quest for edible plants and tend to the snares in your absence. To the east, a half-day's journey reveals the monastery, nestled in the embrace of the landscape. In ordinary moments, you would seldom find a reason to venture there. In their secluded world, the monks immerse themselves in the tranquility of their gardens, nurturing each plant with care, while their hands diligently replicate ancient manuscripts, preserving the wisdom of ages past. Yet they also safeguard grain and cherish wisdom, both becoming ever more valuable treasures. As you step into the gathering by the headman's house, you can't help but notice the transformations that have taken place in everyone since the summer days faded away. Faces have taken on a leaner appearance, garments drape more freely, and eyes now carry a caution that was absent in times past. A gathering of around 20 villagers has come together for the journey, among them the headman and the weary Father Cuthbert, who bears the marks of his recent travels. The headman proclaims, "We shall tread the ancient Roman road. Remain united." Whispers have emerged of souls in the woods driven by desperation. With that foreboding caution echoing in your mind, you embarked on your journey. Once a grand thoroughfare of the Roman Empire, The road now lies as a mere whisper across the land, its stones long since repurposed, leaving only a faint trace of its storied past. Yet it presents the clearest path to the monastery. As you stroll along, Father Cuthbert weaves tales of the insights he gathered from the bishop's gathering. From Hibernia to Constantinople, the darkness unfurls, he proclaims. Whispers speak of what lies beyond. Vessels returning from the distant north share tales of a land where the sun scarcely graces the horizon, shrouded in an endless gloom. What's behind it all? A question arises. What did the bishop proclaim? Father Cuthbert pauses, caught in a moment of uncertainty. Some say it's a form of celestial retribution. Whispers tell of a mighty mountain that roared to life in the distant south, casting clouds of ash into the sky. Can prayers elevate it? Inquires of a woman who has shown unwavering faith since the shadows first fell. It is essential that we engage in prayer consistently. The priest responds with measured thoughtfulness. Yet the bishop also imparted wise counsel on practical measures. And so our journey leads us to the monastery. They've safeguarded wisdom from times long past that could guide us in our quest for survival. From that moment on, the journey unfolds in a hushed reverie. Each step now demands more energy than it used to, and the luxury of idle chatter has become a rare commodity. As the sun reaches its zenith, you ascend a gentle rise, and behold the monastery nestled in the distance. The stone walls ascend from the shrouded terrain, evoking echoes of a bygone era, steadfast and enduring. From within, tendrils of smoke curl upward, a sign that firewood still warms their hearth. As you draw near, it becomes clear that you are not the sole wanderers in this realm. A multitude of groups from neighboring villages has assembled at the gates, which stand resolutely shut. A weary man from a nearby settlement shares. They're only allowing a handful of people in at a time. A crowd of souls arrives all at once, seeking nourishment and assistance. They tremble at the thought of being overwhelmed. As you stand alongside the others, you shift your weight, stamping your feet against the unexpected chill in the air. As the season of autumn tiptoes in, a crisp chill whispers through the air, hinting at the winter to come. At last a monk emerges from a modest side door, gesturing for your group to come closer. The abbot will now share his words with you, his voice a gravelly whisper, as if it has long awaited this moment to be heard. Come along, if you will. Within the confines of the monastery, one cannot help but be captivated by the remarkable sense of order that prevails throughout. The gardens, despite exhibiting the same stunted growth as plants found in every corner, are lovingly cared for. The structures stand strong, the monks glide with intent, their gaunt faces hinting at a diminished diet, yet their demeanor holds a discipline that your village has started to forfeit. The abbot welcomes your group into a spacious chamber, where the gentle glow of a small fire casts a warm embrace around you. He stands tall and lean, his keen eyes scanning each of you with a perceptive gaze that seems to take in every detail in an instant. Father Cuthbert has shared the tale of your village's struggles, he begins, diving straight into the heart of the matter. It is a tale that echoes from every corner. From the depths of darkness, famine emerges, weaving a tapestry of troubles that follow in its shadow. Would you be willing to lend us your assistance? The headman inquires with a straightforward approach. There are young ones among us who are struggling to find their way. The abbot's expression reveals a deep sense of remorse. One cannot share what flows not freely within. Our own stores flourish, quietly. He lifts a hand to quell any objections. Yet we hold within us the wisdom that could guide you through the approaching winter. We are also prepared to welcome a handful of those most in need, the little ones, the elders. Should your circumstances turn dire, a whisper weaves its way among your companions. The notion of dividing families stirs a complex tapestry of emotions, weaving together threads of relief and dread. What wisdom can guide us in this moment? Inquires an older man with a touch of bitterness. Can your tales summon the sun once more? Absolutely not. With a serene demeanor, the abbot responds. Yet they can share tales of how others endured when shadows loomed in ages gone by. This draws the gaze of all around. Ah, so this tale has unfolded in the past, has it? Your father inquires. not within the span of our recollections, yet indeed, in the annals of time, there are tales of seasons when the sun's light waned and an unexpected chill enveloped the earth. In the pages of our oldest manuscripts, carefully transcribed from the remnants of texts that endured the fall of Rome, we find tales of remarkable events. With a graceful wave of his hand, he beckons a younger monk, who approaches with a collection of neatly bound volumes. These recount ways to keep food safe when salt is hard to come by, methods to discover water when sources are frozen, ways to address the ailments that arise from hunger and the chill of the cold. For the next hour, the abbot and his monks weave together practical knowledge drawn from the wisdom of ancient texts. Much of this tale may echo the whispers of village lore and the wisdom imparted by Afri, yet there lies a wealth of new revelations waiting to unfold. They reveal techniques for smoking meat that demand less wood, guiding you through the process. With ease, discover the secrets of winter fungi that thrive on trees, even when the chill of the coldest months envelops the landscape. Ways to ensure the safety of drinking water sourced from unreliable origins. There is a monk, Brother Thomas, who shows a keen interest in your gathering. He's a bit younger than the rest, his regional accent a telltale sign of his roots, hinting at a connection to your village. I grew up just around the corner, he replies with a knowing smile when your father inquires. In a quaint corner of the world, my family tended to a humble farm nestled beside the ancient oak grove. Did you possess? Your father asks. Brother Thomas's expression darkens. They have departed from this world. Once upon a time, a formidable illness ravaged the land a decade past. With a solemn gesture, he traces the sign of the cross. In the heart of the monastery, I found refuge as a lost child. As he converses with your father, your gaze drifts to a storeroom door slightly open behind him. Within, you catch sight of shelves that seem to hold fewer treasures than one might expect at this season's peak. Though the monastery presents an image of tranquility and structure, beneath the surface lies a vulnerability that belies its initial impression. The abbot wraps up the gathering by offering your headman a modest sack. He shares the tale of dried peas. Plant them now before the harshest cold arrives, and watch as they thrive even in the dimmest light. Though their return may be modest, there lies the potential for a meaningful impact. It's a kind offering, yet as you depart from the monastery, the weight of your circumstances envelops your group, much like the ever-present fog that clings to the landscape. The wisdom acquired holds great worth, yet it fails to satisfy the hunger that lingers in the present moment. As you make your way back, you encounter a small band of travelers moving in the opposite direction. They journey forth. Burdened by the weight of their belongings, unmistakably so, they've left their dwelling behind. Little ones struggle with oversized bundles, their determination shining through as they pull with all their might. An elder is cradled gently by two youthful companions. Their faces bear the weight of hunger and a deep sense of despair. To what destination do you journey? The headman inquires of them. South, replies a woman who appears to be guiding them. Whispers of hope echo through the land as shadows recede and life begins to flourish once more. Father Cuthbert cautions that it is a lengthy journey ahead. Beware, for the paths ahead are fraught with peril. The woman gazes upon the children in her group, their delicate faces and eyes dimmed by shadows. To remain is to invite peril. 3 have already been laid to rest. It is far more noble to embrace the journey toward hope than to remain stagnant, merely awaiting the inevitable conclusion. Her reasoning is beyond reproach. Your party journeys back, each member absorbed in contemplation of the decision these individuals have embraced. Should one remain in the familiar embrace of home, surrounded by the warmth of community, or dare to venture into the unknown, chasing the glimmer of hope that shines from afar? Upon your return to the village, you discover it transformed once more. A throng of people has assembled outside one of the residences. The headman makes his way through the crowd to discover old Godwin, the charcoal maker, being tenderly prepared by his sorrowful daughter. Through tears, she reveals the depths of his heart. He drifted into slumber, never to awaken again. Yet, the truth is a tale that all are familiar with. For weeks, the venerable Godwin had been sharing his meals with his beloved grandchildren. His heart faltered, for his body had exhausted all its reserves, leaving nothing to uphold it. He may not be the first from your village to succumb since the shadows descended, yet he stands as the first whose demise can be directly attributed to the gnawing grip of hunger. A threshold has been breached. On that evening, your family gathers around the table to savor a meal crafted from the wisdom acquired at the monastery. Your mother has discovered a fallen log, adorned with the pale winter mushrooms spoken of by the monks, and she carefully incorporates them into a delicate stew. Though it may not seem like much, it is a fresh addition, a treasure that may not have found its way into your collection without the adventures of the day. Whispers of separation linger in the air as your father confides in your mother, the night cloaked in silence after your siblings have drifted into dreams. There are those who yearn to journey south, much like the travelers we encountered along the way. And you, she inquires, her visage aglow with the fading warmth of the fire's last flickers. What are your thoughts on this? He remains quiet for an extended moment. It seems we are still connected to this place, with familiar sustenance within reach and kind souls ready to lend a hand should we face adversity. Beyond these walls, he waves his hand, hinting at the shadows that lie in wait. In every place we wander, we become yet another set of hungry souls seeking sustenance. The children are growing frailer, your mother whispers, her voice quivering with concern, particularly the young ones. I understand. Your father gazes into the dwindling flames, lost in thought. We shall wait until the first hard frost arrives. If the situation remains unchanged by that time, we shall reconvene to discuss the possibility of departure. As dawn breaks, a shadow looms over the village, heralding the first true test of its communal spirit. In the stillness of the night, a shadowy figure crept into the grain stores, where provisions had been meticulously rationed for weeks, now breached, and scattered like secrets whispered in the dark. A considerable sum has vanished. The headman gathers the entire community. His expression is somber as he gazes upon the gathered villagers. One among us has taken what belongs to us all, he proclaims. This act transcends mere theft. It poses a peril to the very essence of our existence. Eyes narrow with doubt. Longtime neighbors, once familiar with every nuance of each other's lives, now cast glances filled with uncertainty. Who among them felt the gnawing hunger, the deep desperation that would drive one to seize the food that held the very essence of life or death for the entire community? Step into the light, whoever you are, the headman implores, his voice echoing through the gathering. Restore what you have taken, and we may engage in a thoughtful conversation about this matter. The silence unfolds, lingering in the air. Silence lingers as no one takes a step into the light. Thus, he declares, we must embark on a quest to explore each and every dwelling. This sparks an instant outcry. In the midst of turmoil, a person's dwelling stands as their final refuge, a sacred space where privacy and dignity endure. Yet the headman stands firm in his resolve. This tale is one of survival, a journey that encompasses us all, not merely a select few. The quest unfolds, led by the headman alongside two loyal companions. They wander from dwelling to dwelling, exploring storage nooks and secretive corners. Upon their arrival at your home, your father greets them with a reserved, yet polite demeanor. They scour the area with urgency and precision, uncovering nothing more than the scant provisions your family has rightfully collected. I never imagined it would be you, the headman confides to your father. But we must ensure that everyone is accounted for. After 3 homes, they uncover the grainy essence nestled within the thatch of Wulfric's roof. Wulfric, a father burdened by the loss of his youngest child, who passed away in the spring, long before the shadows descended. Wulfric, a father of 3, gazes upon his children, their bellies swollen and hair thinning, a stark testament to the ravages of severe hunger. When faced with the accusation, Wulfric boldly acknowledges his misdeed. My children are in desperate need of food, he states plainly. What would each of you choose to do in this moment? In this moment, the village stands at the crossroads of its most challenging choice. In ordinary circumstances, the act of stealing could lead to consequences such as public shaming, repayment of what was taken, or in the most severe instances, exile from the community. Yet these are times unlike any other. To be cast out now is akin to sealing one's fate. However, allowing the theft to slip away without consequence weakens the bond of trust that has sustained the village through thick and thin. The discussion unfolds, weaving through the hours of twilight. Some seek the unwavering hand of justice, while others yearn for the gentle embrace of mercy. Ultimately, it is the headman who weaves the final thread of fate. Wulfric declares that he will return the remnants of the grain to the communal store. To atone for the loss, he and his eldest son shall undertake the perilous hunting tasks for the coming month, venturing into the deep forest where the wolves have become increasingly audacious. It's a shrewd balance struck, a consequence that might lead to an abundance of food for the village instead of depleting its already limited resources. Yet, the event etches itself into the hearts of all involved. When trust shatters, mending it becomes a daunting journey. As darkness fell, families gathered, keeping a vigilant eye over their precious stores of food, each one a treasure in the night. The shadows beyond have seeped in, coloring the glances you share with one another. The days wane, yet the fading sun makes it difficult to discern the passage of time. The chill grows more profound. Your family weaves together more straw, fortifying the walls of your dwelling against the chill of the world outside. The thatch of your roof stands strong, a steadfast guardian against the relentless downpour that seeks to intrude. Each moment of preparation resonates with the belief that you will endure and witness the dawn breaking through the shadows. A week following the theft incident, a trader makes his way into the village, a sight that has become increasingly rare. He's slender. Much like those around him, his burden lessened compared to brighter days. Yet he carries himself with the lively demeanor of one accustomed to striking bargains. From the distant coast, he proclaims to the assembled villagers. Journeyed across 6 villages to arrive at this destination, the headman inquires, his voice carrying the weight of anticipation, seeking the answer that lingers in the air, on the lips of all present. Or perhaps a blend, the trader responds with candor. The shadows linger on, yet whispers suggest they are not as profound as before. The southern kingdoms find themselves in a more favorable position, with provisions gathered from more prosperous days. In this northern realm, he shrugs. It's a familiar tale, folks navigating life as best they can. Hardly. Do you have anything to trade? A voice echoes through the air. Ah, the essence of flavor, the crystalline treasure that enhances every dish. What tales does it hold? Ah, iron. With a flourish, the trader unveils his pack. A pinch of salt indeed, along with needles, thread, and a handful of remedies from the southern lands. He pauses, caught in a moment of uncertainty. Truth be told, the costs are steep, and resources are hard to come by. What unfolds here is a quieter rendition of the trading that typically ignites a spark of enthusiasm in the village. In a quaint village, a handful of families possess treasures that hold great worth, ready to be bartered for the trader's wares. A beautifully crafted blanket, an intricate wood carving, and a delicate silver pin, a cherished heirloom passed down through the ages. Many, much like your kin, can merely observe. The traveler lingers through the night, weaving tales of distant lands and sharing whispers of the world beyond your secluded haven, all for the warmth of the communal fire's embrace. His narratives carry a weight of reality. Once vibrant villages now stand silent, their stories lost to time. In some tales, the aged and ailing have gently faded into the shadows, offering their own lives so that the youth may grasp a brighter future. As the moon rises high, the wolves venture forth, their courage swelling as they tread into the heart of human dwellings under the cloak of darkness. Across the vast expanse of the sea, the Frankish kingdoms find themselves in a dire plight, as whispers of countless souls escaping the northern territories reach our ears. Yet within his tales, glimmers of hope can be found as well. Communities that have woven together innovative threads of adaptation. In a quaint fishing village, the locals stumbled upon a remarkable method to preserve their daily catch. When salt became scarce, they turned to the art of smoking their fish, infusing it with fragrant herbs, creating a delicious solution that would sustain them through the seasons. A quaint settlement nestled beside a Roman ruin, where the ancient Hippocaust heating system has been ingeniously repurposed to cultivate mushrooms in the warm embrace of darkness. In the end, survival prevails, the trader reflects. It's a tale as old as time, they always do. Perhaps a few. The following morning, just before he sets off, he pulls your father aside for a moment of quiet conversation. "I didn't want to say this in front of everyone," he murmurs, his voice barely above a whisper, as if the weight of his words could shatter the fragile silence around them. "Yet I have witnessed the omens in times past. In a quaint village nestled at the very brink of the world, tales of adventure and mystery await just beyond the horizon. The provisions are dwindling more swiftly than you can uncover fresh supplies." He casts a furtive look around, ensuring that no ears are prying into his secrets. In the west, a monastery opens its doors to embrace the young ones, only the children, preserving their existence until brighter days arrive. The expression on your father's face becomes stern. "We unite our families as one." The trader gives a nonchalant shrug. "For the time being, maybe." Yet the chill of winter approaches, the essence of winter, upon this shrouded veil of despair. With determination, he hefts his pack onto his shoulders. Take a moment to ponder this before the opportunity slips away. You feign ignorance to the whispers around you. Yet the trader's words linger in your mind as he vanishes down the path, journeying to the next village with his dwindling load of wares and the weight of somber tidings. As dusk settles, the first genuine snowflakes begin to dance from the sky, arriving much sooner than one might expect. As the white flakes dance through the endless twilight, they gently blanket a realm that is already steeped in cold and shadow. All eyes are fixed, filled with trepidation. The early arrival of winter heralds a singular truth. Even more trials await on the horizon. Within the warmth of your dwelling, gathered around the flickering flames, your loved ones reflect on the treasures you possess and the essentials required to endure. Once the beans were harvested, they were carefully dried and set aside for future use. The wisdom gleaned from the monastery has guided you to discover new sources of sustenance. In the face of challenges, the community remains united, weaving a tapestry of resilience and support. Yet, the ominous whisper of the trader's caution looms over everything. As the chill of winter approaches, the sun retreats, cloaked in shadows. The winter that approaches is unlike any winter you've ever experienced. It plunges into the abyss, shrouded in shadows, a chill that seeps into the very bones. As the heart of winter settles in, a season that should feel familiar yet has been warped by an unending shadow, the snow blankets the village, rising to knee-deep drifts. As the night descends, a chill envelops the air, causing the water in wooden buckets within your home to transform into ice by morning's light. Your family now nestles closely together on makeshift pallets, gathered in the heart of your cozy, little home. Body heat has transformed into a treasure, as vital as sustenance itself. The flames dance gently, a small yet steadfast glow, preserving the precious remnants of firewood that remain. The walls have been lovingly filled with extra straw, a cozy embrace against the chill of the world outside. The fissures filled with verdant moss and earthy mud. Yet the chill creeps closer, a creature alive with sharp fangs and relentless talons. "Boots," your father begins one morning as you gather around the fire, sharing a breakfast of hot water infused with a few treasured dried herbs and thickened with a handful of acorn flour. It is essential that we examine each person's boots. The snow blankets the ground, thick and unyielding, while the chill in the air bites fiercely. It's a time when feet find themselves in peril. Whispers have begun to circulate from the distant reaches of the village, tales of a soul who has succumb to the cruel grip of frostbite, losing toes to the unforgiving cold. With a sense of purpose, you all extend your feet, revealing the leather shoes adorned with cozy strips of woolen cloth, a testament to your quest for warmth. Your father inspects each item with care, mending them with delicate sinew thread where necessary, and lovingly adding extra layers of rabbit fur to your youngest brother's boots. Your mother reports that the oil for the lamps is running low, as she inspects the small clay vessels that illuminate the ever-lengthening nights. Only when the moment calls for it, your father declares. Shadows linger beyond the window. Shadows dwell within. He weaves his words with a playful intent, yet the room remains silent, untouched by laughter. Beyond the village, a sense of siege has enveloped the community. Clear paths weave between the houses, yet only the most vital journeys unfold in this quiet time. In the heart of the community, the hall stands as a vibrant hub, pulsating with the essence of life itself. Families gather in rotation, each taking their turn to bask in the warmth of a larger fire that crackles and glows. In the quiet corners of the land, a small number of frail cows wander, accompanied by a few goats and a handful of chickens, whose laying days seem to have faded. These creatures have found refuge in shelters close to human homes, seeking the comfort of shared warmth as the chill of the world surrounds them. Today marks a special gathering for your family at the communal hall. You wrap yourself in every layer at your disposal and embark on the brief yet icy trek. Within the confines of the hall, a gentle warmth envelops you, a stark contrast to the chill of your own abode, yet it still lacks the embrace of true comfort. A gathering of about 30 souls has come together, nearly a third of the village, united, in purpose. In cozy clusters they gather, voices low and gentle, stitching together worn garments, shaping practical tools from the remnants of wood. The headman has woven a plan for communal hall days, ensuring that each member of the community enjoys a moment in the warmth of the gathering space every week. It has transformed into a means of keeping in touch with each family on a regular basis. For those who fail to show up on their designated day, a gentle inquiry is made to ensure they are still able to attend. Not everyone is always so. Since the first snow graced the land, 3 more villagers have met their untimely end. In the quiet of the night, an elderly man drifted into slumber, never to awaken again. A woman found herself with a cough that gradually transformed into something more severe. In a heart-wrenching turn of events, a small child, not yet 2 years old, slipped away from this world, even as her parents selflessly offered her the majority of their meager food rations. The burials proved to be a challenging endeavor, as the earth lay frozen and unyielding. In the stillness of the snow-blanketed churchyard, the bodies rested, a solemn testament to the tales that had unfolded before them. Stones heaped upon them, a protective barrier against lurking predators, awaiting the gentle thaw of spring to grant them the burial they deserve. As the season of renewal approaches, a sudden stir at the door captures your attention, pulling you from your reverie. A hunting party has come back, 2 men struggling to carry a third who hangs limply between them. What transpired? The headman rushes ahead, his steps quickening with purpose. "Wolves," gasps one of the men, gently laying his wounded friend onto a bench beside the flickering flames. They've never dared to be so audacious. The wounded hunter bears deep gashes on one leg, remnants of a fierce encounter where fangs ripped through his woolen leggings. In the heart of the village, an old woman named Edith, known for her healing touch, attends to him as he recounts his tale, each word escaping his lips through clenched teeth. As we journeyed north, tracing the delicate imprints of deer tracks, he shared the tale of our pursuit, a half-day's walk unfolding before us. Great tunes, invigorating. It dawned on us that we were not alone in our pursuit. They found themselves encircled by the wolves, a menacing pack of at least 7, as they reckoned. Not the typical wary demeanor of wolves that usually steer clear of humans. They were emaciated by hunger, propelled by the same urgency that plagues all beings beneath the shadowed heavens. Without a moment's notice, they launched their assault, the hunter recounts. With a swift motion, Gunnar struck the first one down with his spear, Another one came our way, but soon they were upon us. They had battled fiercely, carving a path to a cluster of trees, a sanctuary where they could fortify their defenses. The wolves trailed for a while, their determination fading as they eventually turned back. With a heavy heart, the hunter declares, they will return. They are aware that sustenance awaits in this place. A shadow falls upon the assembly, dimming the spirits of those present. The presence of wolves menacing the hunting parties casts a shadow over the prospect of securing meat. It serves as a cautionary tale that the village could find itself in peril if the pack's desperation escalates. The headman declares that we shall gather larger hunting parties. Gone are the days when one could wander alone or even in pairs. Now we must take turns keeping watch through the night. The additional measures bring extra effort for all, especially when energy is already scarce, yet the other option is beyond imagination. As the brief shadowy day gives way to the embrace of night, your family makes their way back home. With determination, your father swiftly begins to fortify the door, adding extra bars for protection. Your mother ensures that the shutters are firmly fastened over the tiny window openings. Will the wolves truly venture into the village? Your younger sister inquires, her eyes brimming with trepidation. No, your father reassures her, though you observe him diligently working on the door. As he speaks, yet he emphasizes the importance of caution. That night, you are stirred from your slumber by the haunting sound of howling, echoing closer than it ever has before. With quiet determination, your father stands, grasping his hunting spear with purpose. He lingers by the door, ears attuned to the haunting howls that echo through the night, a relentless symphony that ebbs and flows, sometimes fading into the distance, other times creeping closer with an unsettling urgency. In time they vanish completely, yet your father remains steadfast, watching over until the first gentle rays of dawn seep through the gaps in the shutters. As dawn breaks, a pristine layer of snow blankets the ground, untouched and serene around your dwelling. Yet whispers among the villagers speak of wolf prints lurking at the fringes of the settlement, hinting at a tale unfolding just beyond the horizon. The pack is exploring, searching for vulnerabilities. At the communal well, a place where you seek to break the ice and draw water, you catch the whispers of two women engaged in quiet conversation. One whispers that they are welcoming all who can reach their gates. The path ahead would break the spirit of many. The other responds, the trader mused, if we hold out for better weather it could warm up soon, but what if it doesn't? What if this is the way things are now? The question lingers in the icy atmosphere, waiting for a response that never comes. With your bucket brimming, you rush back home, the water dancing within, already beginning to cloak itself in a delicate layer of ice. In the cozy confines of your home, your mother has carefully arranged the last of the family's food supplies upon the modest table. Before you lies a humble collection, a small sack of dried beans, a dwindling supply of acorn flour, and some dried mushrooms, harvested with the wisdom of the monastery. There are a few strips of rabbit meat mostly, but one cherished piece of venison stands out. Dried berries gathered in the warmth of summer now hold a value beyond measure, their vitamin-rich sustenance a treasure in these lean times. How long? Your father inquires, his voice steady and calm. Your mother's expression is etched with concern. We have a fortnight's worth of supplies, perhaps a little more if we really push the limits. What happened next? She remains silent, her thoughts swirling in a tempest of uncertainty. As the dawn of the day after next unfolds, a subtle change stirs in the air. The relentless chill, though still present, finds a momentary reprieve. The wind, once fierce and biting, now whispers from the south, and the unyielding snowfall begins to relent, offering a glimmer of hope amidst the winter's grasp. Your father announces that the moment has come for a grand hunting adventure. He assures you that this time, the journey will take us beyond our usual limits as he readies himself. In the shadow of the ancient oak forest lies a hidden valley, a place where the game may find refuge and safety. In a twist of fate, you find yourself selected to embark on a hunting expedition, accompanied by 6 other men and 2 women, each renowned for their prowess with slings. They are seasoned enough to contribute meaningfully, yet their absence will not cast a shadow over the village's everyday life. As you embark on your first significant hunt, a sense of pride ignites within you, even in the face of danger, for you are part of something greater. Your mother tends to you with care, wrapping your feet snugly in extra rags before tucking them into your boots, ensuring your woolen cap envelops your ears entirely. Exercise caution, she warns, and the tremor of apprehension lingers in her voice. Many have ventured out on hunting trips, only to vanish into the unforgiving wilderness, claimed by the chill, the lurking beasts, or the weight of their own fatigue. In the dim light of early dawn, the hunting party gathers, their silhouettes merging with the misty landscape. In the biting chill, figures huddle together, each one armed with their chosen tools of survival, spears glinting in the frost, bows strung tight, slings ready to unleash, and snare ropes coiled with purpose. In more favorable days, it would seem as though a gathering was gearing up for an athletic showdown. Now the hollow visages and yearning gazes weave a tale of their own. This is not merely a game, it is a test of endurance and resilience. "We shall remain united," proclaims Oswald, the chief of the hunters. "Together we stand, unwavering in the face of whatever unfolds before us." The wolves linger in the shadows, ever watchful. As you journey through the pristine, snow-blanketed terrain, you trace the delicate paths left by the creatures that roam this wintry realm, their trails subtle yet discernible. As you step into the forest, a sense of refuge envelops you, shielding you from the sharp embrace of the wind. Above, the bare branches groan in the wind. Every now and then, a gentle clump of snow descends, landing with a soft thump, as if nature itself is whispering a secret. As the hours unfold in your journey, one of the hunters keenly observes the tracks of a deer, still bearing the signs of recent passage. With a keen eye, Oswald examines the prints and reveals the truth. They are indeed making their way toward the valley, just as we had envisioned. The path beckons you further into the unknown, inviting you to explore its hidden secrets. Never have you ventured so far from the village's embrace. The trees start to part, revealing a gentle dip in the land, a small valley cradled by the embrace of low hills on three sides. In the stillness of the snow-covered landscape, a small herd of deer makes its way, a dozen or so creatures, slender yet resilient, digging through the white blanket to uncover the hidden greenery beneath. "We must surround them," Oswald murmurs, his voice low and conspiratorial. "Guide them to the distant reaches of the valley where the path tightens." It's a perilous approach, assuming your stance involves opening up, embracing a certain fragility. Yet the promise of what could be is simply too enticing to overlook. With deliberate caution, the hunters navigate through the landscape, seeking refuge among the trees and the gentle undulations of the earth. You trail behind an experienced hunter named Leofric, striving to replicate his deliberate steps with precision. The deer graze peacefully, their heads lifting now and then to catch the whispers of the wind. Yet the breeze dances in your favor, whisking your essence far from their reach. At last, Oswald releases a gentle bird call, a sound that feels perfectly at home in the world around it. The snare tightens. From the shadows, hunters burst forth, their voices rising in a cacophony as they wave their arms in fervent excitement. The deer, sensing danger, leap into action, darting toward the narrow end of the valley where the hunters lie in wait, bows drawn and spears at the ready. What unfolds is a tapestry woven with threads of both despair and delight. 3 deer succumb to the piercing arrows and sharp spears. One among them bears wounds, yet manages to flee alongside the others of the group. A remarkable triumph. More meat gathered in one go than the village has witnessed since the onset of the darkness. The process of preparing the carcasses unfolds without delay. Every moment holds value. The crimson essence is gathered within water skins. This will serve as the foundation for black pudding. The entrails are scrutinized with great care, with certain portions reserved for nourishment, while others are designated for practical applications, such as sinew for stitching. Even the bones will hold worth, transformed into tools and simmered into broth. While you toil with your companions, your fingers feel the bite of the cold, even through your mittens, when an unusual sound drifts into your awareness. Not wolves, but something else slinking through the shadows of the forest at the valley's edge. All are still, ears attuned to the moment. People, Leofric murmurs at last, are approaching from that direction. Oswald beckons to the group, urging them to collect the meat and get ready to embark on their journey. Unfamiliar faces often bring a sense of peril, yet the moment for a tidy getaway has slipped away. Just as you prepare to slip away, the other group steps out from the shadows of the trees. A ragged band of about 10 stands before you, their hungry eyes mirroring the weariness of your own group. They pause at the sight of you, their expressions mirroring the caution that stirs within you. "We come in peace," proclaims their leader, a tall figure adorned with a graying beard. "We hail from the settlement close to the ancient Roman fort, a journey of 3 days to the east." Oswald takes a bold step ahead, embodying the voice of your group. "What winds have guided you to this distant land?" "It is hunger," the man replies with a straightforwardness that cuts through the air. "Likely, the same as you, I would assume." The fort stands in silence, a mere shadow of its former self. A whisper weaves its way through your hunting party. When all is stripped away, it can signify a multitude of things, and none of them bear a positive light. The two groups eye one another with a mix of wariness and intrigue. Their gazes fixate on the deer carcasses, revealing the raw, unfiltered hunger etched across their faces. "We possess families," the leader proclaims, "along with children." It hovers in the air, neither a plea nor a menace, yet the message resonates unmistakably. Food is a dire necessity for them. Oswald remains quiet, lost in thought for a time that stretches on. In your village, resources are scarce, barely enough to sustain its own. To share is to acknowledge the hunger that exists, while to withhold is to turn away from our fellow beings in need, potentially igniting a conflict that none of us are equipped to face. Oswald finally reveals that we have 3 deer. One can be yours. A wave of relief sweeps across the faces of the strangers. Their leader vows, "This will not be forgotten. Should the light find its way back, should the tides of fortune shift, we shall hold on to the memories." The deer is exchanged, and the two groups go their separate ways, each heading back to their famished communities with tales and sustenance, carrying with them the peculiar, bittersweet sensation of a meeting that could have spiraled into chaos, but instead reinforced a fundamental truth about humanity that endures even in the bleakest of moments. The trek back to the village is wearying, yet your triumph lifts your spirits. In a twist of fate, as you part ways with the unfamiliar faces, you find yourself coming back with an abundance of meat that surpasses all expectations. It will weave a vital thread into the fabric of the tale. As you draw near to the village, the inhabitants emerge to greet you, drawn by the watchful sentry stationed at the boundary of their home. When they behold your burden, a chorus of joy erupts. Hands extend, eager to assist in bearing the treasured bounty of meat. Expressions once dulled by disillusionment now shimmer with the promise of possibility. In the heart of the communal hall, the meat is brought forth, destined to be skillfully butchered and shared among the villagers. Here a time-honored system unfolds, ensuring that each person receives their fair share, with generous portions set aside for the little ones, the elders, and those who toil the hardest under the sun. As the sun dipped below the horizon, a tantalizing aroma of roasting meat wafted through the evening air, a welcome change after months of absence. In the heart of the communal hall, a small celebration begins to unfold, weaving together moments of joy and connection. It carries a quiet weight, a whisper of what once was in brighter days. Though the spirit of celebration feels dim, a gentle buoyancy lingers in the air, a whisper of joy that has been missed for far too long. Artists unveil their cherished instruments, each one a testament to resilience in the face of adversity. A fiddle, a small hand drum, a bone whistle, each an instrument of magic, weaving tales through melody and rhythm. The music begins with a hesitant touch, the player's fingers trembling from the chill and the rust of disuse. yet it gradually blossoms into a more assured melody. A voice rises, weaving an ancient melody that speaks of spring's gentle return, casting aside the lingering chill of winter. Others gather around. Gathered around, your family delights in the tender morsels of freshly prepared meat, each bite a moment to cherish. The exquisite flavor, after such a lengthy absence, is nearly too much to bear. Their cheeks glisten with remnants of a delicious feast, and their eyes sparkle with a joy that is seldom seen. Will this carry us through until springtime? You pose your question to your father in a hushed tone. He ponders the question with great thoughtfulness. It brings clarity, he confesses. At last, while it may not be sufficient on its own, it grants us the precious gift of time, a chance for transformation to unfold, to witness the sun's glorious return. Indeed, or for us to discover fresh paths to endure if it does not. The melody flows on, voices rising in harmony, undeterred by their hunger, unshaken by the chill and unyielding in the face of the shadows that have lingered over the world for months. It embodies a spirit of rebellion intertwined with joy. As the flickering flames dance upon the features of your loved ones and those who live nearby, a profound awareness washes over you, revealing that a change has taken place. The fate of your community hangs in the balance, shrouded in uncertainty. The gnawing hunger persists, the biting cold looms, yet the triumph of the hunt, the unexpected meeting with strangers that blossomed into camaraderie instead of conflict, the sheer joy of a single hearty meal accompanied by music, these moments have ignited a spark that had almost faded away. Hope, delicate and shimmering yet very much alive. As the night deepens and your family makes their way home through the soft blanket of snow, your father gestures toward the sky, drawing your gaze upward. Behold, you trace the path of his hand. Above, a gentle parting of the clouds reveals a handful of stars, faint yet undeniably present, twinkling from afar. Stars, your younger sister breathes, a sense of wonder dancing in her voice. Many of the little ones have all but lost the memory of the night sky's beauty before the shadows fell upon it. They were ever present, your father tells you, lurking in the shadows of the clouds, hidden within the ash. There are elements that persist, hidden from our sight yet ever present. In that fleeting moment you find yourselves side by side, gazes lifted toward the heavens, captivated by the tiny cluster of stars twinkling above. Then the clouds close again, and the moment passes. But like the hope kindled by the hunt, the memory of those stars remains, a reminder that the darkness, however long and terrible, is not, cannot be, permanent. As you nestle into your pallets for the night, the warm glow of home surrounds you. Your mother's voice rises softly, weaving an ancient tale of a time when the sun was stolen and concealed. It speaks of a clever hero, whose wit outsmarted the thief, coaxing the secret of the sun's hiding place from the shadows. And so, she weaves her tale, revealing that the sun will always rise again, regardless of how lengthy the night may be, or how harsh the winter's grasp. As your siblings drift into slumber, you remain awake, pondering the strength of endurance. You envision the deer, resilient in the frozen valley, and the strangers journeying through the relentless snow, driven by the quest for sustenance. Your village stands united, weathering the storms of hunger and fear, while your family continues to weave tales that light up the darkness. Outside, the wind stirs, whispering of fresh snow to come. Yet for the first time in months, its howl feels less like a warning and more like a gentle invitation. You've journeyed through shadows, and maybe, just maybe, you will endure long enough to witness the sun's glorious return. As the heart of winter lingers, time stretches like a taut string, each day a struggle against the biting chill and gnawing hunger. Yet in the quiet moments, a subtle shift stirs, almost unnoticed at first, hinting that change is on the horizon. The bitter cold begins to relent. The snow's descent lessens, and while the sun hides behind a shrouded sky, a whisper of change stirs in the air. There's an unmistakable feeling that the wheel of the year is shifting, heralding the approach of spring, even in this shadowed realm. One morning you awaken to an unusual sound, a gentle dripping echoing in the stillness. Outside, the snow on your roof begins to melt in patches, giving rise to icicles that glimmer as they catch the faint sunlight that dares to break through. It may not be the typical spring thaw we've come to expect, nothing quite so grand, yet it is change, and your father sees it as well. As the family gathers for their modest breakfast, he suggests we ought to explore the south-facing slopes. As the snow begins to wane, we may uncover the first signs of life emerging from the earth. After enduring countless months of disappointment, hope feels like a perilous ember. Yet as you embark on this journey with your father and older sister, a flicker of it ignites within you. With digging sticks in hand and small sacks slung over your shoulders, the three of you set out on a quest for any edible treasures that may lie hidden in the earth. The journey through the village unveils whispers of quiet transformation. Amidst the gentle warmth of the returning sun, individuals venture outdoors tending to the forgotten tasks that lay dormant through the harshest of winters. A band of determined souls toils to unveil the heart of the land, laboring to shatter the hardened, trampled icy snow and gently pushing it aside, revealing the earth that lies beneath. In quiet anticipation, some are tending to their gardens, nurturing the soil in cozy nooks where the promise of planting lingers just on the horizon. A woman shares with your father that Leofric spotted geese soaring north just yesterday as you walk by. The first birds are returning, a promising sign. Your father nods, indicating that it means there's food to be found somewhere out there. Beyond the village, the forest remains cloaked in a blanket of snow. Yet as you venture towards a hillside that basks in the sun's warmth, glimpses of dark earth start to emerge, hinting at the awakening of spring. Your father guides you to a hidden place, kneeling down to clear away the last traces of snow with his gloved hands. There, he declares, gesturing toward a delicate sprig of green bravely emerging from the cold, unyielding mud. In the early whispers of spring, the wood sorrel emerges, a delicate herald of new beginnings. Your sister is gently excavating the earth around the plant, tenderly loosening the soil to uncover its roots. Tonight's pottage will be graced by the addition of small leaves, infusing a hint of freshness into the weary winter fare. Though small in size, the roots hold within them invaluable carbohydrates. You venture forth, exploring the bare patches of soil that lie before you. It transforms into a delightful challenge, where every new plant represents a little triumph. As you wander, your eyes catch the delicate wood sorrel, the tender chickweed, and the first brave shoots of stinging nettles emerging from the earth. Though it may not seem like much in the grand scheme of nourishment, after enduring months of dwindling supplies and desperate rationing, the discovery of anything fresh feels nothing short of miraculous. Father, your sister has just called out, of the blue right here. You both rush to the spot where she is nestled at the foot of a grand oak tree. With a graceful gesture, she directs attention to a cluster of mushrooms sprouting from the moist bark. Oyster mushrooms, one of the varieties the monks at the monastery had spoken of as a safe treasure to seek during the winter months. Your father admires your keen eyes as he skillfully gathers the mushrooms. These will truly transform the pot tonight. As the sun reaches its zenith, your bags hold a delightful yet humble assortment of the season's first treasures from the earth. While it may not suffice to quell the hunger entirely, it represents a fresh beginning, a glimmer of hope that was absent during the harsh depths of winter. As you journey back to the village, you encounter Ephra, the wise elder whose wisdom about wild foods has grown even more treasured over the years. She ventures out, defying her years, accompanied by two spirited younger women who eagerly highlight the plants that might escape the notice of others. Ah, you've discovered the oysters. She responds with a knowing nod as your father reveals the fruits of your labor. Splendid.
And there, I spot the delightful wood sorrel as well. The sharpness will rouse your winter-weary palate. Have you noticed anything else on the horizon? Her father inquires. Next, she declares, will be the coltsfoot, followed by the ground elder.
With a hint of hope, she speaks of wild garlic, wondering if the bulbs have weathered the chill. Soon the first fiddleheads will emerge along the stream banks, her gnarled hand gesturing towards the promise of new life. In this eerie twilight, the earth stirs, awakening from its slumber. Life endures. In the heart of the village, a crowd has formed, drawn together by the arrival of a stranger, a messenger from a distant settlement, 2 days' journey from here. Whispers from the southern lands, he declares, as you merge with the throng. Vessels have arrived at the shore carrying tales from Gaul. Whispers of hope suggest that the shadows are indeed beginning to fade away. Last year the crops faced challenges, their growth stunted yet not entirely lost. However, as spring unfolds, the horizon appears more hopeful. What about this place? Is there someone seeking more, wondering if change is on the horizon for us? The messenger gives a nonchalant shrug. When the winds of change stir in the south, they whisper promises of arrival, or so the sages tell us, the learned souls who gaze upon the heavens and decipher its secrets. Though it may be a fragile strand of hope, individuals cling to it with unwavering determination. Wherever the shadows begin to lift, there lies a promise of change. Nothing is set in stone, and the world can find its way back to light. The following day unveils the inaugural challenge to this delicate glimmer of hope. As the late winter storm sweeps through, it blankets the landscape in fresh snow, while the air turns sharp with an icy chill. It stings like a betrayal, a harsh reminder that, even after the signs of thaw, winter's icy hold remains unyielding. Once more, individuals find solace within their abodes, their hearts heavy with a sense of gloom. The fleeting burst of outdoor adventure comes to an end. Fires are rekindled to combat the returning chill. Yet this time feels distinct. The storm is but a fleeting challenge, a momentary pause in the grand tale, not a lasting fate. Hope, delicate and shimmering yet very much alive. As the night deepens and your family makes their way home through the soft blanket of snow, your father gestures toward the sky, drawing your gaze upward. Behold, you trace the path of his hand. Above, a gentle parting of the clouds reveals a handful of stars, faint yet undeniably present, twinkling from afar. Stars, your younger sister breathes, a sense of wonder dancing in her voice. Many of the little ones have all but lost the memory of the night sky's beauty before the shadows fell upon it. They were ever present, your father tells you, lurking in the shadows of the clouds, hidden within the ash. There are elements that persist, hidden from our sight yet ever present. In that fleeting moment, you find yourselves side by side, gazes lifted toward the heavens, captivated by the tiny cluster of stars twinkling above. Then the clouds close again, and the moment passes. But like the hope kindled by the hunt, the memory of those stars remains, a reminder that the darkness, however long and terrible, is not, cannot be, permanent. As you nestle into your pallets for the night, the warm glow of home surrounds you. Your mother's voice rises softly, weaving an ancient tale of a time when the sun was stolen and concealed. It speaks of a clever hero, whose wit outsmarted the thief, coaxing the secret of the sun's hiding place from the shadows. And so, she weaves her tale, revealing that the sun will always rise again, regardless of how lengthy the night may be, or how harsh the winter's grasp. As your siblings drift into slumber, you remain awake, pondering the strength of endurance. You envision the deer, resilient in the frozen valley, and the strangers journeying through the relentless snow, driven by the quest for sustenance. Your village stands united, weathering the storms of hunger and fear, while your family continues to weave tales that light up the darkness. Outside, the wind stirs, whispering of fresh snow to come. Yet for the first time in months, its howl feels less like a warning and more like a gentle invitation. You've journeyed through shadows, and maybe, just maybe, you will endure long enough to witness the sun's glorious return. As the heart of winter lingers, time stretches like a taut string, each day a struggle against the biting chill and gnawing hunger. Yet in the quiet moments, a subtle shift stirs, almost unnoticed at first, hinting that change is on the horizon. The bitter cold begins to relent. The snow's descent lessens, and while the sun hides behind a shrouded sky, a whisper of change stirs in the air. There's an unmistakable feeling that the wheel of the year is shifting, heralding the approach of spring. even in this shadowed realm. One morning you awaken to an unusual sound, a gentle dripping echoing in the stillness. Outside, the snow on your roof begins to melt in patches, giving rise to icicles that glimmer as they catch the faint sunlight that dares to break through. It may not be the typical spring thaw we've come to expect, nothing quite so grand, yet it is change, and your father sees it as well. As the family gathers for their modest breakfast, he suggests we ought to explore the south-facing slopes. As the snow begins to wane, we may uncover the first signs of life emerging from the earth. After enduring countless months of disappointment, hope feels like a perilous ember. Yet as you embark on this journey with your father and older sister, a flicker of it ignites within you. With digging sticks in hand and small sacks slung over your shoulders, the three of you set out on a quest for any edible treasures that may lie hidden in the earth. The journey through the village unveils whispers of quiet transformation. Amidst the gentle warmth of the returning sun, individuals venture outdoors tending to the forgotten tasks that lay dormant through the harshest of winters. A band of determined souls toils to unveil the heart of the land, laboring to shatter the hardened, trampled icy snow and gently pushing it aside, revealing the earth that lies beneath. In quiet anticipation, some are tending to their gardens, nurturing the soil in cozy nooks where the promise of planting lingers just on the horizon. A woman shares with your father that Leofric spotted geese soaring north just yesterday as you walk by. The first birds are returning, a promising sign. Your father nods, indicating that it means there's food to be found somewhere out there. Beyond the village, the forest remains cloaked in a blanket of snow. Yet as you venture towards a hillside that basks in the sun's warmth, glimpses of dark earth start to emerge, hinting at the awakening of spring. Your father guides you to a hidden place, kneeling down to clear away the last traces of snow with his gloved hands. There, he declares, gesturing toward a delicate sprig of green bravely emerging from the cold, unyielding mud. In the early whispers of spring, the wood sorrel emerges, a delicate herald of new beginnings. Your sister is gently excavating the earth around the plant, tenderly loosening the soil to uncover its roots. Tonight's pottage will be graced by the addition of small leaves, infusing a hint of freshness into the weary winter fare. Though small in size, the roots hold within them invaluable carbohydrates. You venture forth, exploring the bare patches of soil that lie before you. It transforms into a delightful challenge, where every new plant represents a little triumph. As you wander, your eyes catch the delicate wood sorrel, the tender chickweed, and the first brave shoots of stinging nettles emerging from the earth. Though it may not seem like much in the grand scheme of nourishment, after enduring months of dwindling supplies and desperate rationing, the discovery of anything fresh feels nothing short of miraculous. Father, your sister has just called out, of the blue right here. You both rush to the spot where she is nestled at the foot of a grand oak tree. With a graceful gesture, she directs attention to a cluster of mushrooms sprouting from the moist bark. Oyster mushrooms, one of the varieties the monks at the monastery had spoken of as a safe treasure to seek during the winter months. Your father admires your keen eyes as he skillfully gathers the mushrooms. These will truly transform the pot tonight. As the sun reaches its zenith, your bags hold a delightful yet humble assortment of the season's first treasures from the earth. While it may not suffice to quell the hunger entirely, it represents a fresh beginning, a glimmer of hope that was absent during the harsh depths of winter. As you journey back to the village, you encounter Ephra, the wise elder whose wisdom about wild foods has grown even more treasured over the years. She ventures out, defying her years, accompanied by two spirited younger women who eagerly highlight the plants that might escape the notice of others. Ah, you've discovered the oysters. She responds with a knowing nod as your father reveals the fruits of your labor. Splendid.
And there, I spot the delightful wood sorrel as well. The sharpness will rouse your winter-weary palate. Have you noticed anything else on the horizon? Her father inquires. Next, she declares, will be the coltsfoot, followed by the ground elder.
With a hint of hope, she speaks of wild garlic, wondering if the bulbs have weathered the chill. Soon the first fiddleheads will emerge along the stream banks, her gnarled hand gesturing towards the promise of new life. In this eerie twilight, the earth stirs, awakening from its slumber. Life endures. In the heart of the village, a crowd has formed, drawn together by the arrival of a stranger, a messenger from a distant settlement, 2 days' journey from here. Whispers from the southern lands, he declares, as you merge with the throng. Vessels have arrived at the shore carrying tales from Gaul. Whispers of hope suggest that the shadows are indeed beginning to fade away. Last year the crops faced challenges, their growth stunted yet not entirely lost. However, as spring unfolds, the horizon appears more hopeful. What about this place? Is there someone seeking more, wondering if change is on the horizon for us? The messenger gives a nonchalant shrug. When the winds of change stir in the south, they whisper promises of arrival, or so the sages tell us, the learned souls who gaze upon the heavens and decipher its secrets. Though it may be a fragile strand of hope, individuals cling to it with unwavering determination. Wherever the shadows begin to lift, there lies a promise of change. Nothing is set in stone, and the world can find its way back to light. The following day unveils the inaugural challenge to this delicate glimmer of hope. As the late winter storm sweeps through, it blankets the landscape in fresh snow, while the air turns sharp with an icy chill. It stings like a betrayal, a harsh reminder that, even after the signs of thaw, winter's icy hold remains unyielding. Once more, individuals find solace within their abodes, their hearts heavy with a sense of gloom. The fleeting burst of outdoor adventure comes to an end. Fires are rekindled to combat the returning chill. Yet this time feels distinct. The storm is but a fleeting challenge, a momentary pause in the grand tale, not a lasting fate. In the shadows and chill, there are whispers of a light, a promise of warmth that beckons from afar. Within the warm embrace of your home, your mother meticulously examines the untamed plants you foraged yesterday, selecting a few for immediate use while carefully preparing others for the drying process. We ought to create a detailed account, she muses, of everything we've discovered about the art of survival. In the realm of nature, the flora, the techniques of the hunt, the art of preserving sustenance and warmth, all serve as reminders for when brighter days return. If better times come, your father gently corrects. But when? Your mother is adamant. The sun shall rise once more, and the fields will flourish anew. Yet we must hold fast to this wisdom. For the first time in months, a spark of certainty dances in the air. As a member of your family speaks not merely of surviving the next day or week, but of envisioning a future that stretches beyond the shadows of the crisis. With a contemplative gaze, your father reflects on this before giving a slow, deliberate nod. Indeed, we have rediscovered the wisdom of our forebears, insights that were once etched in the fabric of our history, yet have slipped from our collective memory. As the storm winds howl outside, your family gathers together to begin the tale of the evening. With cherished charcoal on the smooth surface of scraped birch bark, your father crafts words as your mother shares her wisdom on the plants, their seasons, and the art of preservation, alongside the hunting techniques that dance with the rhythms of wildlife's changing patterns. Your contributions, alongside those of your siblings, weave together the tapestry of experiences and knowledge you've gathered along the way. It's a humble gesture of belief, this meticulous documentation, a belief that there lies ahead a time when this wisdom may prove valuable, may be shared with others. The tempest rages for 3 days, yet when it finally relents, the arrival of spring feels as though it rushes forth with newfound vigor. The fresh snow vanishes swiftly. The days, though still shrouded in an unusual gloom, begin to stretch and linger with a subtle promise of light. More birds emerge, coming back from the hidden havens they sought during the bleakest of times. On a day of great importance, the headman gathers all the villagers at the heart of the community. A band of men has recently come back from their journey along the ancient Roman road that winds its way toward the greater settlement to the east. The path lies open for journeying now, the headman proclaims. This opens the door for us to reconnect with neighboring villages, sharing our wisdom and resources once more. He takes a moment surveying the attentive faces that surround him. It also signifies that we must choose the path for those eager to embark on the journey southward. Whispers of a new beginning have floated through the air all winter, the allure of departure beckoning toward lands where the shadows may recede, where the earth could yield its bounty more generously. Now, as the world opens its doors to wanderers once more, the dreams of exploration have transformed into vivid reality. The headman announces, "Tonight, I summon a council." It is essential for every family to come together and share their thoughts and intentions prior to that moment. On that afternoon, your family gathers in a close-knit circle around the warm glow of your modest hearth fire, sharing thoughts and stories in a sacred assembly. "I still believe our best chance lies within these walls," your father declares. "This land is familiar to us. We have endured the depths of despair. As the winds of change blow favorably in other lands, so too shall they bring forth brighter days in our own realm." At last, your mother gives a slow, thoughtful nod, and there exists a tapestry of neighbors, woven into the fabric of our community. In that vast expanse, solitude would be our only companion. Your older sister notes that some are indeed departing. Edith and her family, along with the blacksmith and his wife, have begun the process of packing their belongings. "If they must leave, then let them go," your father responds. "Every family has its own path to choose, yet we remain steadfast in our decision." That night, the village council gathers with a weighty air, each member's expression reflecting the gravity of the moment. A quarter of the families have chosen to embark on a journey south, seeking improved conditions along the way. The others, much like yourself, have opted to stay behind. "Those who venture forth and those who remain, we are united as one," proclaims the headman. "Should the southern lands reveal greater promise, do send word forth. Should the circumstances here take a turn for the better, we shall follow suit. And for those who wander away, should their hearts lead them back, a warm welcome awaits you here." It's a bold declaration, especially in light of the limited resources that persist. Yet there is an understanding that thriving in these times hinges on collaboration, on nurturing our bonds with one another, even when separated by miles. In the days that follow, a flurry of activity ensues. Those embarking on the journey prepare themselves for an adventure shrouded in uncertainty, while those who remain diligently arrange to fill the voids left by their departing companions. The blacksmith, with determination in his heart, toils tirelessly to mend as many tools as he can before his departure. "To settle my debt," he recounts, when your father presents him with a shattered digging stick. "Throughout the years, the village embraced my art with unwavering support." In her final days, the healer, Edith, dedicates herself to crafting remedies from the first blooms of spring, gently imparting their secrets to the woman destined to follow in her footsteps. In these preparations, a bittersweet sorrow lingers, intertwined with an unexpected vitality. After a long stretch of quiet resignation, a spark ignites as individuals begin to take action, stepping beyond mere survival. As dawn breaks on the day of their journey, the whole village comes together, united in a heartfelt farewell for the departing travelers. With burdens balanced upon their shoulders, children nestled securely on backs or tucked into handcarts, they carry with them only the most vital treasures of their lives. With heartfelt farewells spoken and promises of news shared, they drift away, a fading procession of souls moving eastward to embrace the ancient Roman road that leads them southward. The village resonates with an eerie stillness, a palpable absence that hangs in the air. "Shall we ever cross paths with them once more?" your younger brother inquires, his gaze lingering until the final silhouette fades from sight. "I'm uncertain," your father responds with sincerity, "yet I remain hopeful." The village, though diminished, swiftly finds its footing once more. With fewer mouths to feed, the balance shifts, leaving us with fewer hands to toil alongside us. Each person embarks on a journey of new responsibilities. In an unexpected twist of fate, you embark on a journey as the apprentice to the new healer, delving into the art of identifying medicinal plants and crafting remedies, an opportunity that would have seemed unimaginable in ordinary circumstances. The days stretch on, unfolding like a tale yet to be told. As the snow retreats, Leaving only remnants in the cool shadows, a remarkable morning dawns. You awaken to a sound that feels like a long-lost memory, birdsong, genuine and vibrant, not merely the sporadic calls of ravens or crows, but a rich tapestry of melodies heralding the arrival of spring. They are aware, your mother remarks, taking a moment from her tasks to lend an ear. The birds sense a shift in the air. On that very day, fresh tidings arrive through a trader who has ventured forth along the treacherous, muddy spring roads. He transports tangible treasures for exchange: salt, needles, and a handful of exquisite luxuries such as dried southern fruits. Yet the most valuable of his cargo is the knowledge he shares. The shadows are surely beginning to lift, he assures the eagerly assembled villagers, taking his time, not as if a candle had been snuffed out, but rather like the sun steadily intensifies with each passing week as one journeys southward. How far south must one journey to discover the warmth of ordinary sunlight? A curious soul inquires. In a manner that feels familiar and right, the trader reflects. Though I have yet to witness it firsthand, whispers from the Mediterranean tell of flourishing crops, ships charting their familiar courses, and life unfolding as it ought to. And here, the headman inquires, what is your perspective on our plight, given your extensive travels? The trader surveys the scene, observing the gaunt faces, the mended garments, the meticulously cared-for tools and buildings. You've managed to endure, he finally remarks, surpassing many places I've encountered. Indeed, the light is making its way back here as well, though at a more gradual pace. As the warm days of midsummer approach, you may begin to witness tangible progress. It's a thoughtful nudge, not empty promises, and somehow that lends it a sense of authenticity. For 3 days the trader lingers, bartering his wares for the village's offerings, handcrafted items, preserved foods, and a handful of cherished trinkets that families part with only after much hesitation. As he departs, he bears with him the heartfelt letters from those who remain, bridging the gap between the separated souls of the community. As the essence of spring fully embraces the world, the struggle for survival evolves into a vision of hope and new beginnings. With meticulous attention, gardens come to life as cherished seeds find their place, nurtured by the wisdom harvested through the long, shadowy months. The pursuit of sustenance persists, though now it unfolds with a more measured grace. A remarkable journey unfolds, sparked by the gentle encouragement of Brother Thomas, who makes his occasional visits from the monastery, with his wisdom leading the way. The villagers embark on a journey to build raised beds in the sunniest corners, crafting wooden frames brimming with the finest soil they can muster, a blend of decayed leaves, animal manure, and the ash left behind from winter's fires. Brother Thomas shares that these will heat up faster than the earth, and enriching the soil becomes a simpler task. In the gentle embrace of diminished light, the plants will flourish, reaching for the sky with renewed vigor. The work demands effort and dedication, yet all lend a hand in the endeavor. A feeling emerges that they are no longer merely enduring, but rather crafting a vision, laying the groundwork for what lies ahead. Once upon a time, the monastery stood as a steadfast monument, but it has since experienced a transformation. As you join your father on a day filled with purpose, carrying a basket of early spring mushrooms to express gratitude for the monk's past kindness, you discover that the gardens have blossomed with remarkable growth, each sunny nook now transformed into a vibrant patch of life. A new endeavor has emerged, a meticulously crafted account of the shadowy period, weaving together insights from their own community alongside tales collected from wanderers who have journeyed through. We must delve into the events that transpired, the abbot shares as your father inquires about this endeavor, both for practical purposes, to equip ourselves should it occur again, and for spiritual insights, to grasp our role within God's grand design. Do you think it was destiny that guided your path? Your father inquires. What lies within the shadows? Ah, the anguish. With a thoughtful gaze, the abbot weighs his options. In every experience, no matter how grim, there lies a treasure trove of wisdom waiting to be uncovered. In the shadows, embrace, we found our humility. It revealed our deep connection to the natural world and to one another. Maybe that serves as a lesson in itself. As you journey home, you and your father pause at the crest of a hill, where a breathtaking panorama of the countryside unfolds before you. The scenery transforms, vibrant greens emerging where once there was only the starkness of brown and white, while small streams sparkle as they flow unencumbered by ice. Life weaving its vibrant tapestry once more. And above, the sun, though still muted, appears just a touch brighter than it did a week ago. Your father gazes at the view and muses. The abbot has a point about one thing. We have gained a deeper insight into what truly holds significance. What truly holds significance, you inquire? He gazes at you, then turns his eyes to the vast expanse of land reaching out to meet the horizon. This, the earth, each other, the wisdom handed down from those who endured struggles before us. He pauses and hope, for without that, none of the rest would have sufficed. Upon your return to the village, you discover a curious flurry of activity surrounding the communal hall. A grand fire crackles in the open air, casting flickering shadows as a group of women busily crafts what seems to be a humble feast. Though modest compared to the abundance of the past, it stands out as a remarkable gathering amidst the ongoing scarcity that surrounds them. What unfolds before us? From the hall proclaiming the first harvest. Though modest in size, it deserves a grand celebration. He guides you to a table adorned with an array of baskets, each brimming with the first offerings from the village gardens and the fruits of diligent gathering, tender spring greens, petite root vegetables, fragrant early herbs, wild onions, and delicate mushrooms. While it may not be a grand spectacle, the delightful assortment brings a refreshing change after the dullness of winter's fare. Tonight, we shall gather for a meal, the headman proclaims, to honor the changing of the season, to pay tribute to those we've lost, and to embrace the promise of what lies ahead. That evening's gathering carries a unique essence, unlike any since the shadows first fell. Amidst the lingering hunger and the modest portions, a true spirit of celebration shines through. The music pulses with energy, conversations dance with animation, as stories unfold about the winter just past. Narratives of narrow escapes, unforeseen discoveries, moments steeped in despair, and bursts of unexpected joy. Some carry a weight of reflection, paying tribute to those who were lost along the way. Some evoke laughter that feels hesitant, uncovering joy even amidst the toughest moments. Do you recall the time the wolves encircled the village for 3 long nights? One of the hunters reminisces about old Godwin, who bravely ascended his roof, with a flaming torch scolding the wolves as if they were misbehaving children. And then there was that attempt to bake bread from pine bark. A woman chimes in, wrinkling her nose at the memory. Not even the dogs would touch it. These narratives hold a significant power. They turn personal anguish into a shared journey, converting solitary anxieties into a collective remembrance. They assist in unraveling the threads of what has transpired, allowing it to settle into the past instead of lingering in the constant present. As the twilight deepens, visions are woven for the days and nights that lie ahead. As the seasons shift and the earth warms, the seeds exchanged with neighboring villages await their moment to take root and flourish in the soil. A grand adventure to the far-off lake is being planned. The weary walls of the animal enclosures await their restoration, a hopeful prelude to the grand return of noble herds. Everything hangs in the balance, shaped by the ongoing evolution of circumstances, yet it is still a plan, a step towards what lies ahead. As the night deepens and families start to meander back to their abodes, the wise elder, Afri, who carries the weight of memories from past famines, lifts her cup of diluted ale high. To those who persevered, she speaks, her voice trembling with the weight of years yet resonant enough to reach the hearts. And to those who did not, let us pay tribute to both by cherishing the lessons gleaned from the shadows. In the gathering, cups are lifted high, creating a moment of shared connection. In the act of remembering, a response emerges. As you recline on your humble pallet at home, your mind wanders back to the peculiar journey of the past months. Once, the village you call home was a different place, a far cry from the one where you first beheld the sun's fading light. It appears diminished, tinged with a sense of melancholy, its buildings bearing the scars of a harsh winter, neglected and weary from the passage of time. Their figures are leaner, etched with the lines of hardship, and their gazes are heavy with the weight of past struggles and the haunting echoes of want and dread. Yet, there exists an essence to resilience that has not faced trials, a wisdom, forged through hardship, a profound gratitude for the little joys like the taste of fresh food, the melody of birdsong, and the sun's gentle warmth breaking through the night, revealing a handful of twinkling stars. Tomorrow unfolds with new tasks and trials ahead. The shadows still linger and the familiar richness has yet to make its comeback, yet you have weathered the storm. And with each passing day the light begins to shine a bit brighter. As you gently slip into slumber, your mind wanders to the seeds sown in shadows, not merely the tangible ones nestled in the earth, but the deeper, symbolic ones that take root within the soul. Amidst the challenges, creativity flourishes and fresh bonds emerge, weaving a tapestry of inspiration. What will they blossom into when the sun finally graces us with its full return? It's a thought-provoking inquiry to reflect upon as slumber envelops you, posing a riddle about what lies ahead. A privilege that eluded you in the bleakest times when only the here and now held significance. At long last, the dawn of tomorrow beckons with possibilities once more. Summer tiptoes in, a hesitant guest, unsure of its reception in a realm that has long been shrouded in shadows and chill. The days stretch out, basking in warmth, yet the sun remains shrouded, its true brilliance tempered by the lingering air and mist. Yet transformation, true transformation, is at last unfolding. It catches your eye amidst the flourishing life around you. In the gardens, where every raised bed and sheltered corner has been lovingly nurtured, a bountiful harvest emerges, surpassing the wildest dreams of all who behold it. The beans ascend, their supports, unfurling blossoms that ultimately bear fruit. Deep within the earth, the resilient root vegetables thrive, swelling in their hidden sanctuary. In the most cherished corners of the land, even the grain reaches for the sky, standing, tall with heads that bloom beautifully, all while dancing in the gentle embrace of the waning sunlight. The untamed flora reacts as well. In the forest clearings, the berries come to life, smaller than in years gone by, yet their sweetness remains a delightful treasure. After the gentle caress of rain, mushrooms emerge, adding a delightful twist to your culinary adventures. Thiwao, game makes its way back to the woods where fresh growth offers sustenance. The deer, though still lean, are now more plentiful. Once more the rabbits are flourishing while the birds are busy building their nests and nurturing their young ones. Every little enhancement lays the groundwork for the next. With each passing day, as the sun shines a little brighter than the last, a deepening belief takes root, that the darkest days are now a thing of the past. Next week the time will come to gather the beans, a moment of anticipation and reward for the diligent care they've received. One bright morning in early summer, your mother returns from her stroll through the garden, her voice ringing with excitement as she shares her latest discoveries. Her face, though more angular than it was before the shadows fell, radiates a serene contentment, and the early turnips are almost ready to be harvested. In days gone by, such straightforward declarations would have slipped by unnoticed. Now they resonate, like declarations of triumph. Your father, having just returned from inspecting his fish traps in the stream, carries with him tidings of equal delight. He proudly displays his catch, 6 good-sized trout glistening in the light. The water flows, with newfound clarity now. The fish have a keen eye for the bait that glimmers in the water. In the heart of the village, these small victories weave together, creating a tapestry of triumph that spreads far and wide. As the harsh grip of winter loosens, the communal stores, once perilously low, start to replenish, hinting at the promise of abundance ahead. Not to the heights of genuine plenty that would require several fruitful seasons, but sufficient to alleviate the ongoing worry about the next meal. As the burdens lighten, life begins to unfold once more, allowing for pursuits that transcend the struggle for existence. Once shrouded in dust and silence, the church now stands revitalized, its walls gleaming with care and attention. The services drew more attendees than in the days before the darkness, yet they carried a different essence, one that transcended the hollow formality of ritual, infused instead with a heartfelt sense of gratitude. Artisans find their way back to their cherished crafts. The weaver prepares her loom once more, utilizing the precious wool she has meticulously preserved from the handful of sheep that endured. Once the potter, having laid down his tools to pursue the thrill of the hunt through the bleakest of winters, now finds himself returning to his craft, shaping fresh vessels to take the place of those lost to the cold season. In the heart of the village, lively children, slender yet full of energy, engage in games once more, choosing joy over the endless tasks of gathering food. Their laughter dances through the air, banishing the final remnants of the dark year that has passed. On a splendid midsummer day, a caravan makes its entrance, 3 wagons rolling in, accompanied by a dozen travelers on foot. They hail from the southern lands, the inaugural organized trading expedition to arrive in your region since the onset of the darkness. The roads have opened once more, the leader declares, a seasoned woman with keen eyes, and there's a growing need for goods from the Northfurs, amber and specific herbs that flourish in your climate. They have arrived with bountiful treasures: salt, a gem that remains elusive during the shadowy months, iron tools crafted in the southern forges, delightful luxuries such as honey and spices, and most importantly, trustworthy tales of the world beyond, revealing the state of affairs elsewhere. The shadows are receding all around, the trader assures the assembled villagers, quicker in certain areas than in others. Yet the trend is unmistakable. The sun is making its triumphant return. What was the spark that ignited it? An inquiry arises. Is there anyone who can say for sure? The wise ones in the bustling cities have their theories, she responds with a casual shrug. Whispers tell of a mountain beyond the eastern sea that roared to life, casting ash into the sky like a dark veil. Some attribute the devastation to a mighty blaze raging in the distant northern woods. Some perceive it as a form of divine retribution for the transgressions of humanity. With a graceful flick, she arranges her vibrant headscarf, a splash of southern flair that feels almost startling after enduring months of utilitarian monotony. What truly holds significance is that the conclusion is upon us. In the sun-kissed Mediterranean, the fields flourish with life, vessels glide along their well-trodden paths, and the markets hum with vibrant activity. What of those who ventured south from this place? The leader inquires. Have you come across any tales of those seeking refuge from these lands? The merchant ponders. In the southern kingdoms, a diverse tapestry unfolds as many from the north arrive. Some discover their new homes and embrace fresh skills, while others face the weight of challenges that test their resolve. Being a stranger in need is a challenging journey. She gazes upon your village, absorbing the echoes of resilience and the fragile whispers of renewal. Those who remained and held on to their homes, like you, may have made a wise choice, even though the journey was more challenging. Once the caravan members arranged their wares for trade, they gathered with the villagers to share a meal, weaving connections over food and stories. Though it may seem humble by the tales of yore, it stands out as extraordinary against the backdrop of winter's harsh scarcity. Freshly caught fish, vibrant early vegetables, and bread crafted from the season's first limited grain harvest, all blended with ground nuts to stretch its bounty. As the meal unfolds, tales are shared among the diners. The traders weave tales of distant lands, sharing how various communities endured the shadows of hardship and the transformations that swept through the broader realm. The villagers weave their own narratives of endurance, creativity, heartache, and surprising revelations. In the heart of winter, the headman shares the tale of our old healer's passing. Yet, she had already embarked on the journey of guiding this young soul. With a subtle nod, he recognizes your newfound place among the people. In your journey, you discovered that specific tree fungi hold the power to heal chest ailments, and in a heroic act, you saved 3 children amidst the fierce, late snowstorms. A warm wave of pride washes over you as this acknowledgement unfolds before the crowd. Your journey as an apprentice to the new healer, sparked by necessity when Edith departed with the southern emigrants, has transformed into a true calling unearthed in the heart of turmoil. There are tales of the hunter who crafted innovative, snare designs that thrived even in the depths of snow, the son of a former Roman soldier who recalled his father's method for constructing insulated shelters, and the grandmother who shared her wisdom on which tree barks could be ground into emergency flour. With a knowing smile, the lead trader acknowledges that necessity sparks the flame of innovation. That has held true in every corner. In the shadows, we were beckoned to recall ancient paths and unearth fresh journeys. The trading unfolds over the course of 3 days. In the village, not many possess items of worth that could match the treasures brought by the caravan. Yet amidst the humble dwellings, agreements are forged. Promises of future pelts, the sweet honey from wild hives reclaiming their place in the forest, and the healing herbs that will soon be ready for harvest as summer unfolds. As the traders set forth on that fateful morning, they carry away more than mere goods. They take with them a precious bond to the vast world beyond. Their departure serves as a reminder that life flourishes outside the confines of one's own community, a testament that healing is not confined to a single place, but resonates throughout the land. On that very day, another momentous occurrence unfolds. A small group of figures emerges along the path from the east, traders this time, yet their faces are ones I recognize. 3 families, having ventured south during the winter months, have now made their way back home. They arrive to a chorus of astonished gasps and heartfelt cheers, embraced once more by the community they had left behind. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow, they gathered around the flickering flames, weaving tales of their journeys and adventures. "We journeyed to the banks of the mighty river," recounts Godric, who was once the finest hunter in the village. "We stumbled upon a settlement that welcomed us with open arms. Yet it was not so," he falters, searching for the right words. "It lacked the warmth of belonging." As the skies cleared and whispers of better days reached our ears, we made the choice to journey back. The journey south was fraught with challenges, his wife interjects. Countless souls who ventured forth did not reach their destination, and for those who succeeded, the journey as newcomers, as refugees, often meant beginning from the lowest rung, toiling on the harshest terrain and accepting the most arduous of tasks. "We've caught wind of your bean harvest," remarks another returnee, a hint of a smile gracing their lips. Whispers of tales spread, even in these times. Whispers travel through the winds of the northern villages, tales of resilience and ingenuity, of how you unearthed methods to cultivate sustenance even in the soft glow of twilight. "We evolved," the headman recognizes, "just as you did, in your unique manner. It brings us joy to welcome you once more." Plans are set in motion to welcome back the families who are returning home. Their past abodes were lovingly preserved by those who chose to remain, a silent pact woven into the fabric of the community, ensuring a welcoming embrace for any who might find their way back. The fields find new purpose, tools pass from hand to hand, and the labor of the village transforms, embracing the strength of those who join in the toil. A week after the emigrants have returned and found their place once more within the village's familiar rhythms, a momentous event unfolds. On a seemingly ordinary summer morning, the air is cool yet inviting. As the feeble sun struggles to break free from the persistent haze that blankets the sky, in the heart of the forest, you and your younger sister wander through the dappled sunlight, collecting the sweet, ripe berries that flourish in a sunlit glade. Suddenly she halts, her gaze drawn upward, curiosity sparkling in her eyes. "The sky," she whispers, a glimmer of awe in her tone. Gaze upon the vast expanse above. Your eyes trace the direction of her stare. Above, a transformation is unfolding. The heavy grayish shroud that has cloaked the world for countless months begins to waver, to thin. In certain moments, it fractures like the dawn's fog, unveiling glimpses of a genuine azure expanse, and through one of these openings, the sun cascades down. Not the feeble copper-hued orb you've come to know, but something reminiscent of its glorious past. Radiant and resplendent, the gentle glow caresses your face, enveloping you in an unexpected embrace of warmth. You stand still, the berry basket slipping from your grasp, as your face tilts upward to embrace this wondrous offering. Next to you, your sister mirrors your actions, her eyes gently shut, a look of pure bliss gracing her face. The moment is fleeting. The break in the haze swiftly closes, and the bright sunlight retreats into a gentle, muted glow. Yet, it came to pass. Both of you witnessed it, experienced it deeply. "We must share this with everyone," your sister exclaims, her basket in hand, eager to dash back to the village. You rush after her, your heart racing with anticipation. But as you break through the tree line, you discover that you're not alone in this moment. In the heart of the village, the rhythm of labor has paused as villagers lift their gazes to the heavens. Some gesture with excitement, their voices rising in wonder, while others remain still, enveloped in a profound silence. The sun is making its grand entrance once more, lingering a bit longer this time. Golden light spills across the village like honey, casting a warm glow that reveals the beauty of every corner, reminding you of the clarity that once felt lost. Colors burst forth with newfound brilliance, the lush green of thriving life, the sparkling blue of the flowing stream, and the rich tapestry of shades in clothing and dwellings. For the first time in months, shadows emerge, their edges crisp and unmistakable. It's returning. A voice quivers with feeling. The sun is indeed on its way back. In this moment, there is no grand celebration, no orchestrated response. Instead, it blossoms naturally, as individuals gather in intimate clusters, exchanging their thoughts, their aspirations, their sense of relief. Some shed tears freely, others burst into laughter, while a handful kneel in solemn prayer. As the sun rises higher, your family congregates outside your home, a tapestry of warmth and laughter. Your father wraps his arm around your mother's shoulders, a gesture of love, while your siblings, even the eldest who strive to uphold their composure, find themselves swept away in the joyous dance of the golden rays. Will it endure this time? Your youngest brother inquires, his eyes narrowing as he looks up. Not all at once, your father replies, weaving his words with care. Indeed, it seems the darkest days have passed, and a new dawn is breaking, bringing light that will stay with us. In the weeks that follow, his foresight unfolds as if scripted, the breaks in the atmospheric haze appearing with increasing regularity, lingering longer than before. The sun, now a more potent force, casts its warmth upon the earth, igniting the growing season that had once hesitated. Crops, once on the brink of despair, now burst forth in vibrant abundance. As the visible transformation unfolds, a profound change sweeps through the village. The horizon, once limited to the next meal or the fleeting day ahead, begins to widen. Hope rekindles as villagers start to envision plans for the harvest, undertake lasting repairs to their homes, and invest in their children's education, reaching far beyond mere survival. In this season of hopeful anticipation, the headman gathers the villagers one evening as summer begins to wane. The communal hall buzzes with life, every family present, a stark contrast to the somber meetings of the colder months. The atmosphere is buoyant, faces shine with ease, and voices rise in spirited conversation. Gather around, for the headman speaks as the last whispers of movement fade. We have endured a trial that few can fathom, a year shrouded in darkness, a time when the natural order faltered. Many souls were lost to the shadows, yet those of us who remain carry the weight of transformation, forever marked by what we have faced. Whispers of consensus weave their way through the assembly. As we journey into brighter days ahead, he reflects, it's essential to ponder the lessons we've gathered, the treasures we wish to carry with us from this challenging chapter, even as we gratefully bid farewell to much of it. This evokes a moment of deep contemplation, where silence reigns and no one hurries to break it. At last, the venerable Afri stands, her movements unsteady yet resolute, aided by a younger companion. We remembered the old knowledge, she proclaims, her voice a delicate thread woven with clarity. The plants that can sustain us in times of famine, the art of preserving food without salt, the secrets of locating water and staying warm. Wisdom, Our ancestors possessed, but we have let slip away. We must not allow this to fade again, insists the new healer, stepping into Edith's role. These vital skills should be imparted to every child, not just those with a keen interest. It is essential that all learn the ways of survival. Voices rise, weaving together thoughts on the shadows of the past and visions for what lies ahead. The blacksmith, fresh from his journey to the south, shares a bold idea. Regular trading expeditions to bridge the gap with far-off communities, breaking the chains of isolation that deepened their struggles. A young mother with hope in her heart proposes the creation of larger communal food stores, a safety net beyond the meager supplies of individual families. And then, a man, his heart heavy with grief, poses a poignant question. What of those who have been lost? How do we honor their memory and find meaning in the depths of our sorrow? This question resonates profoundly, as nearly everyone has experienced loss, be it family, friends, or neighbors. The grief that was momentarily set aside in the fight for survival now reemerges, now that the immediate threat has subsided. Father, Cuthbert stands, his thin face solemn. In the Christian tradition, we believe that suffering has purpose, even when it eludes our understanding. Those who perished during the darkness are martyrs of a kind, victims of a trial that tested all humanity. An elder from the back, one who clings to the pre-Christian traditions, counters that they watch over us from beyond, asserting that they walk beside us still, stronger now than when they wore flesh. In a moment of unexpected understanding, the priest nods with respect, suggesting that perhaps these beliefs share more in common than one might think. What truly matters is the remembrance, ensuring that their suffering and sacrifice remain etched in our hearts. As the night deepens, the dialogue unfolds, weaving through the threads of practical concerns and profound reflections, touching on urgent necessities and distant aspirations. Disagreements arise, occasionally intense, yet beneath it all lies a shared sense of purpose that had not always been felt before the shadows enveloped them. In a moment of quiet reflection, your father proposes a lasting tribute, something enduring that will echo through time, reminding those who come after us of the events that unfolded here, the losses endured, and the lessons gleaned. This notion resonates deeply, sparking a flurry of ideas. A stone monument, a sacred grove of trees, or perhaps an annual commemoration on the day the shadows first fell. What if we wrote a book, you propose, your voice breaking the silence for the first time, and suddenly all eyes are on you? A wave of nervousness washes over you, yet you press on, recalling Brother Thomas's words about the monks chronicling significant events. He mentioned they are already capturing the shadows, and we could follow suit, not merely documenting names and dates, but weaving our narratives, sharing the lessons we've gathered, so that even centuries from now, our tales would resonate with those who come after us. In the midst of a contemplative hush, nods of agreement ripple through the gathering. It's a bold endeavor for a quaint village where literacy is scarce, yet with the support of Father Cuthbert and the sporadic wisdom from the monastery, the dream appears attainable. The Book of Darkness, one voice proposes, suggesting a title that resonates with intrigue. No, your mother counters gently, the tale of survival, of endurance. The darkness was only half the narrative. As the meeting draws to a close, individuals hesitate, unwilling to let go of this shared moment of connection. Small clusters emerge, dialogues persist, and an unmistakable sense of significance hangs in the air. It's not merely the son's return that resonates, but a profound understanding of the transformation your community has undergone through trials and tribulations. As you stroll home beneath a sky adorned with twinkling stars, your family shares tales of the adventures and experiences that have shaped the past year. We have transformed, your mother notes, her gaze sweeping over each of you, a different family, a different village. Better or worse, your sister inquires. Your mother ponders this thoughtfully, recognizing the differences, the strength found in some aspects, and the heightened awareness of our fragility in others. She gently reaches, out touching each child's head in turn, feeling a deeper gratitude for the things we once took for granted. Within the cozy confines of home, your father tends to the fire knot, nurturing the fragile flame of winter into a comforting blaze that brings warmth and light to the room. Even as the sun shone brightly, the summer nights whispered a coolness, a gentle nudge that the cycles of nature have yet to find their full harmony. As your family gathers around the warm glow of the hearth, your youngest brother's eager voice breaks the silence, asking for a tale, a request that once felt trivial during those bleak days when every word, like every action, was solely aimed at survival. Speak of the days that preceded the shadows, he implores when the sun shone with unwavering brilliance. Not always bright, your father gently reminds you. There were cloudy days, rainy days, but indeed, it was a different world. He unfolds the narrative, painting a picture of everyday existence prior to the calamity, the familiar cycles of the seasons, the anticipated bounties of the harvest, the customary celebrations, and bustling markets. It feels like a tale from a bygone era, this serene life where the rhythms of nature were unwavering and trustworthy. Will it ever be exactly like that again? Your sister inquires as he takes a moment to reflect. With a candid tone, he responds, "The sun intensifies with each passing day, yet the sages whisper that it could be years before the heavens are fully bright again. Even then, we will have transformed. Our eyes will forever be drawn to the sky, ever vigilant for any shadow, holding on to the memories." It's not all doom and gloom, your mother observes. We stand better equipped now, more conscious, more flexible. The dialogue meanders towards the upcoming harvest, which, while perhaps not as bountiful as in days of yore, holds the promise of replenishing the dwindling supplies. Whispers abound of the traders who will soon return, their tales and treasures from far-off lands set to grace us once more, before the chill of winter descends. A conversation unfolds about the envisioned memorial book, with curiosity about who will share their tales and who will take on the role of crafting the narrative. Casual exchanges, discussions about what lies ahead, the sort of dialogue that seemed unimaginable in the depths of despair. As the household drifts into slumber, you find yourself stepping outside for a brief moment. The night unfolds before you, a canvas of clarity with stars twinkling in well-known constellations, each one a whisper of stories untold. The moon, almost at its fullest, weaves solid shadows across the landscape, a sight that would have felt like magic just a few months prior. The air now breathes a new life, vibrant and alive, filled with the essence of burgeoning growth, a stark contrast to the lingering metallic taste of ash that once dominated the atmosphere. In the quiet of the night, a solitary bird sings its haunting melody from afar. Life unfolds, evolving, enduring. Within the walls of your home, your family rests, no longer pressed together for warmth out of sheer need, yet still drawn closer than they were before the shadows arrived. The experience has woven its threads into the fabric of life, both seen and unseen. Connections transformed, values realigned, wisdom acquired through hardship, yet invaluable all the same. In your own cozy nook, more inviting than the cold, unforgiving ground of winter yet still unadorned, you discover your mind wandering towards the future, a journey once unimaginable during the bleakest of times. In this new chapter, you step into the shoes of a healer's apprentice, where each moment holds the potential for memories yet to be woven. The threads of trade begin to intertwine once more, and with each passing day, the sun rises higher, casting its warm glow on the path ahead. The shadows transformed all that was known, the village, the vast expanse beyond, and even your very essence. There will be no going back to the way things once were. Yet as sleep envelops you, your final conscious thought whispers that perhaps what arises from this trial could in significant ways surpass what existed before. With a deeper appreciation for sunlight and the growth it nurtures, a heightened awareness of our connections and interdependence, and a keen understanding of the delicate balance between human fragility and resilience, above the stars weave their timeless dance, gracefully circling over your slumbering village. In the quiet embrace of night, the crops thrive, drawing strength from the sun's warm caress. Beyond the horizon, a new dawn patiently awaits, ready to outshine its predecessor heralding a day filled with light that dances upon the shadows. As you surrender to the embrace of slumber, a sense of warmth and safety envelops you, transporting you far from that harrowing year of shadows. Though the echoes of that time linger, you emerge transformed, ready to weave the wisdom gained into the tapestry of your future adventures. As you drift into slumber, allow the burdens of the day to gently fade into the night. Your odyssey through this time-worn calamity has reached its conclusion, yet the solace of your own bed still awaits. Allow your breath to ease, aligning with the soothing cadence of slumber that has cradled humanity since the dawn of time. The night's embrace is not to be dreaded. Rather, it is a serene intermission, a tranquil moment before the dawn breaks anew. Rest peacefully, for in the face of any trials we possess the strength to persevere, evolve, and navigate our path back to the brightness.